Peace, peace. What it do? What it do, man? Happy New Year's Eve. You know what I need? I need one of those catchy themes that when you come in, something dope, man. I need a theme song, an anthem, something dope to introduce Yango and Yango bust on the scene on them. But with that, all powers to oppressed people, African power to an African people, and Black power. It's your brother Yang and Crewman coming to you again with another tribal voice, which is just simply the platform that we as a people, I created on my channel to be a platform that we as the people can come and holler at one another. I know that we're all a tribe and that Black people, you've heard me say time and time again that we aren't a monolithic people. We aren't one thinking, one acting people. So tribal voice was created just for that, for all of us to be able to jump on here, have our saying, our expressions. Peace, Mellow Cap, what's good? Kustal, what's good, Issa? To have our saying, our expressions, and things of that nature. So that's what this whole platform was created for. With that being said, man, welcome. Shit. I wanted to do, because this is New Year's. And so I wanted to do a year in review. Cool Star, all you got to do, hit the link, boom, jump on the panel. Can't wait to introduce you. But I wanted to do a year in review. I wanted to talk about the year in general, and we can get into some specifics. What was cracking with you? What made the going out of 2001 sad to be seen? Or maybe some of you are actually celebrating the end of 2021. Looking forward to new opportunities that you've created for yourself or new opportunities to be open. As for me, I'm going to say this. I know 2021 was very interesting in every dynamic and sphere of the game. Son, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's good, Yanga?
Man, shit, chilling. Doing
Yeah.
this year in review, man. I wanted to just do
Okay.
a recap of this crazy ass year because
Okay.
2021 brought us uh man, some of everything.
Yeah.
You name it. It brought us some of everything. Kustal, what's good, brother?
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. What's going on, King?
What's going on, God? Yo, man, let me formally introduce everybody. This is brother Kustal, man. And I'm honored to say this is my baby brother, like biologically,
Oh
not just
shit.
in the struggle, but from the genetic pool. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, indeed. And he's gonna be joining us, man. And if those out there that are down with me and ride with me, if you thought that Yanga was bringing his shit, then welcome another edition. Cause my little brother, the little God, definitely
Appreciate it,
brings
brother.
it and backs it up scholastically. So we can
Hey,
definitely, yeah. Glad to have you on, baby, bro.
thank you, brother. It's an honor being on here, man. You've been dropping it. I've been tuning in, man. It's an honor, and let's drop the knowledge, man. Share with the people.
Indeed, indeed, man. We were doing uh at the close of 2021, this crazy ass year that has been crazy in every aspect and gambit and facet of fucking social life. For me personally, I've seen in 2021 spiritual elevation or awakening, a consciousness. I've seen the stupefying of people. I've seen us behave in manners where I've thought, now I know damn well that these Negroes know better. I've seen political change in the climate with dealing with political as far as legislation and just in political socially. What is socially acceptable? The new additions to the social fabric of life here in America with the dare I say, let me be controversial and all that good shit, with all of these additions of fucking alphabets to the already very alphabetical influenced community. So I mean, 2021 has been crazy. But I want to start, son. Let's give you up to what has been one of the biggest standout moments in 2021 for you? What has been one of the craziest shits?
Goddamn, when my boys rushed the goddamn Capitol. That's what, goddamn it, make me proud. Goddamn it, hell yeah. Goddamn, God bless America.
That was right. That's wild shit. Now that was some wild shit. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Goddamn, make me be proud to be an American.
yeah.
but we're not surprised though. I'm not surprised that they acted like that, man.
Why didn't it surprise you, Kustal?
Because that's been their nature throughout the decades and centuries. When they don't get their way, when we rise politically or economically, it's always been a pushback, a white lash. That's historically proven.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah, I had to
But
agree
you
with
know
Busta
what?
All,
I
yeah.
think I'm questioning, which I already know some of the answer, but what the fuck emboldened them to that degree? They've always been disgruntled groups.
God
And we
damn it,
see
this
that
is our
usually,
America. What are you asking that goddamn question for there, boy?
man, well,
This is
shit.
our goddamn country.
Usually, look here, white son. Usually,
Yeah, he need to go to Fox
disgruntled,
News, man.
huh?
White son need to go to Fox News.
Yeah.
They
Oh
love
yeah.
you over there, bro.
I
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's why you gotta love a white son, because he's gonna say what these rednecks want to say. But usually, let's keep it real. The white man is cowardly. I said it.
Right.
And we find that historically, when the white man has been in his disgruntledness, he or she they resort to subvert tactics. They join these little subvert groups or these little hate groups. We have never seen. When was the last time they made such an open display of defiance against the state?
Yeah,
That's some shit. Like usually they cowardly. They'll go into a school, shoot up children and shit, grab a single black person and do horrific shit to a single black person. What gave them the testicle fortitude to do some shit like they did?
They nature did it.
Yeah. Yep.
They nature did it because that we talking about a people who don't share power.
Yeah.
We
Peaceful.
talking about authoritarian, we talking about totalitarian, whatever you want to label it. These people don't share power. Stay way or no way. So once they start to see that they're losing, their stranglehold, their grip, this is what they do, violence. They'll try to manipulate and be slick and have a system where, there's a lot of things up against us and it's all for their benefit. But once they start to lose that power, they start to see things starting to change. This is what they do, man.
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is the Civil War. This is Jim Crow with all the lynchings after Reconstruction. This is their MO. This is them going against the Black Panther Party, the liberation struggle of the 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
This is what they do.
I would totally I would totally agree. But I was going on, I guess what I was going at too was the fact that the prior administration encouraged that, because we've seen where these cave people, these beasts have been disgruntled in the past. But what gave them the gagoozas to be so openly defiant?
Oh, Barack Obama, you just said it. Barack Obama. Barack Hussein Obama.
Barack paved the way. That was the footstep in the process to Trump's.
Because that was just symbolism.
To go to their polar extremes.
Right. That was just symbolism for us, but in the eyes of the white racists, they looked at that like we was actually making gains just by that figurehead being there, just by a black man being the commander in chief. They figured we was making grounds, but in all honesty, we know that symbolism. We know nothing really happened. We got no gains from Barack Obama being the president, but in the eyes of white society, that was a cause for them to all come together and say, "Hold on, we got to stop this wave right here."
Especially them poor crackers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, when you take, because the only thing the poor cracker has is racism. When you take classism out of the question, when you take the economic equation out of the question, that poor cracker, he's struggling to find out he's on the same scale, and in a lot of instances lower than black people. And even if not economically, socially, culturally inferior, you can have the same communities on the same exact economic scale, and I'm willing to guarantee that the black community will look better than the white community.
Every day, all day.
You know what I'm saying? So they have to enforce this racism. So that poor cracker, that uneducated, unpolitically aware cracker that buys into the narrative, the general narrative, when he did, you're right. When they saw President Obama, they saw leaps and bounds for black people. And so to balance that, that's what I mean. To me, America goes to these polar opposites. To balance that, they give you this fascist, or they gave us President Trump.
Yeah. Yes, that's what was born out of that, you know. And historically, you look at something called the Bacon Rebellion. You know, we're talking about when I'm not good with dates, but we know the Bacon Rebellion. This was like in the late 1600s, I think early 1700s, where blacks and whites rebelled against slave owners. Poor whites and indentured servants, indentured whites. There was a movie made recently about what's his name, the white man who got with the black slaves and they rebelled. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Jim Brown, Jim Brown.
Yeah, something like
John
that.
Brown.
John Brown. Yeah. So, you know, the Bacon Rebellion, what it did, it made the white elitists of this nation say, look, we want to make this a white nation, but we need our poor white brothers and sisters to be on board with this system. So what we're going to do is we're going to not give them any gains, but we're going to take so much from the Negro that they will make them feel privileged, entitled over even them, even though we're not doing shit for them. You know, it's an illusion. So they know they had to establish racism as the apple pie of America, as the norm, and spread that, indoctrinate that in their own people. Because as history tells, when slavery first started in the 1600s, they really got rolling with it. Indentured whites from Europe and African slaves actually rebelled. It's called the Bacon Rebellion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's been working to this day. That whole plan of keeping poor whites and poor blacks divided. That's one reason they killed Dr. King, because he was bringing the poor whites and the poor blacks together. He was doing a poor people's campaign. Yeah, he was going with the poor people's campaign.
Yep.
Right, when he got his mind right. What's up, soul brother? I see you eased on. What's going on, black man?
Yeah.
Peace,
you got me in? Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace, man. You on the panel.
Hold on, y'all.
Oh, okay. Okay, then let me just get this. Okay, let me hold a second, brother. This is a good, interesting topic here because I mean, you know, I'm living out here in Nebraska, man, in a state where it's only blacks. That is just 1% of the population, you know, and it's most of us that are in Omaha, and you know, I'm like 1 hour southwest of Omaha. But anyway, you know, I'm just looking at this situation as I'm hearing y'all talking about the poor whites, you know, and man, you know, they got that same exact attitude here, you know. Everywhere I turn around and look, man, you know, you got these Trumpers, you got these hillbillies around here, man. I mean, you know, they everything they do, man, is basically reflected upon them, upon their anger, you know, because they can't have their way. You know, they feel like their way is slipping from them. So, you know, if it's any kind of way that they could retaliate at a black or brown person, they will do it, you know? And I don't, for nothing in the world, I can't understand why the few blacks that are locally based here can't see that. I mean, some of them, and there's a lot of them that do come from the South and other places, and stuff, and I'm even a transplant here, but I mean, I still realize I'm still in America. Ain't nothing changed. And I just realized that just the more of them that you're around, you're gonna see the more emboldened that they get.
Yeah.
It's just one thing that just showed me that when you're around more of them where they're the majority at, like here in the state of Nebraska and other surrounding states in this area, like Kansas, you know what I'm saying, the South, North Dakota, and so forth on. I mean, they just showing their colors for who they really are. Because it ain't no checks and balances where they know they can't go nowhere like Chicago or Detroit or Atlanta or New Orleans and or Oakland and that crazy and just say anything out the way or just use any type of nigger word recklessly, because they know it's gonna be some checks and balances to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I mean, they don't have no problem letting it be known how they feel, and so
absolutely. Man, absolutely. When they're in their little enclaves like that, and I'm willing to guarantee that probably their police department and every other institution that's needed by the people, hospitals and shit, is largely whitely run. That reinforces
no doubt.
You see what I'm saying? So that reinforces white privilege, white entitlement, and even racism. Just the whole system just reinforces that attitude and that behavior. And like Kustar was saying, which I so wholeheartedly agree with, all of that is by design.
Yeah,
it is the key to, because it is the very thing that when you study revolution, it is the very thing that will really stop or hinder a socialist revolution the way the Europeans want it to be. And that's race. That's why, because even if you had this system the way that they wanted to have it or whatever, you could have this so-called egalitarian system. Can the white American divorce themselves from white entitlement and white privilege? I challenge that. I think that white is interwoven, or a certain understanding of white is interwoven into just the very fabric of America.
Yeah.
Hey, Brother Yanka,
Yes,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to also chime in another thing about this situation too, is that since I've been here, a brother been working on just trying to better self and quality of life, education, and it's a brother locally based here.
You breaking up.
You breaking up, soul brother.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say, man,
I'll say, can you hear me now?
We hear you now.
Yes,
we hear
sir.
you now.
Okay, so what I was gonna say was, what he was telling me, the more education you get, the more you understand what you around. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm finding myself at with this situation. Because when I first came here, man, my thing was not so much to get away from being who I am, but I didn't want to be in that environment of where I came from. Because originally I'm from Detroit. I'm from where the 67 race riots went down at. Where my mother carried me in her womb, so I was born in the struggle. So that ain't new to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like this though. When I got here, I said, well, I'm just coming here to get myself together, and I know I ain't got to be around a bunch of riffraff as if I was in the bigger city or something like that, whatever, right? So, but I come to find out it ain't really no different. What's
the name of the city you in, brother, in Nebraska?
I'm in Lincoln.
Lincoln, Nebraska?
Yeah, the state capital, yeah.
Okay, the University of Nebraska in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought so. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
And it's a
about the
lot
only
of
thing
racism.
there.
It's a lot of it's a lot of racism happening over there too. Yeah. I know about the University of Nebraska, brother,
Yeah,
and I know
Cornhuskers,
about
man. Look at the name, Cornhuskers. It sounds like some
yes, sir.
racist shit.
Oh, yes, sir. When you look at their logo on their state emblem, which is called the Good Life, when you come in the state of Nebraska, you're gonna see a sign say, welcome to the good life, right? Well, you know, like a brother told me, that's not meant for everybody either. Because we was visiting
Yeah, of course
the
not.
local state museum here, and we seen that sign, right? And he
Right.
said, well, that's not for everybody. Just think about what they mean by that. Because when they came up with that, that was during that time when they had them what you call when they was getting them land when they was getting them land grants and stuff. This part of the country, this is where they was giving it to them. You know, this I guess this was during the Depression.
You talking about the 1862 Homestead Act?
Yeah, something like that.
The 1862 Homestead Act, when they gave acres of land west of the Mississippi only to white immigrants, immigrants.
Yeah.
And to this day, they're benefiting. To this day, they're benefiting, capitalizing still off of that land that was only given to white people after the United States Army went west, killed Native Americans, displaced them, and then gave millions of acres of land only to white immigrants, none to Africans. You had a drop of African blood, you couldn't get it.
Damn.
You was outside looking in.
Yeah. The straight this discrimination. You know, I had some personal
they got the leg up.
come up, but which I had to push my debate back again too. Shouts out to the commissioner Solomon. Shout out to Argument League over there, my brother Suave and them. Shout out definitely to Solar Vision Debate League, SVDL, all the debaters on the league and shit. Keep doing your thing, man, bringing that enlightenment at the same time, bringing a way that our people can grasp it. It to say the very least, if it isn't enlightening, it at the very least it is entertaining. Shouts out to everybody over there on that. Unfortunately, I had some family issues come up, so I had to postpone or push back my debate, which I had coming up for the 7th. And it was, is the black man inferior to every other race? And man, I believe they were just giving me something, man, just to give me something. That was, oh man, I mean, damn, could you serve a brother up a better meal? That's not even the debate. I really
Man, is that an oxymoron? What kind of is that an oxymoron? I mean, how can we be inferior when they come from us? We the parent people. How can that work?
Well, not only that, let's talk about post the Civil War and Reconstruction, where we had nothing but sharecropping, and we took what we sold from, just from the agriculture and built schools and built we outdid them. That's why they had to form the KKK, is because we were outdoing them. I mean, we came from, and then our literacy rate went up. We were learning better English than them. I mean, we soared. But I mean, the history tells it all, though. But then you get that backlash. Here come the goddamn Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, and y'all know the rest, bro. Y'all know the rest.
Yeah, Black Sun. Yeah, and when I was out, since I've been out here in this part of the country too, although I lived in Missouri before, but I didn't know that Missouri was a Confederate state.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
And even though it's because it's geographically west of the Mississippi in the Midwest region, but it's still a part of the South. Yeah. But the reason that they didn't go to war because the United States Army was on their back. You know what I'm saying? Them Union soldiers was on their back, so they couldn't really go fight on the Confederate side, but they was a slave state. And so, I trickles also over into this part of this rest of the part on this side of the Mississippi River too, because like you said, when they start handing out them land grants to them Europeans that was coming here from over there in Europe, you still got a lot of their descendants that Germans, you got blacks here. You got a lot of them here, you know, where the people from a lot of they descendants here. You got a lot of people.
You breaking up. You
Then
breaking
you
up,
have
bro.
Oh,
Tyler,
your
that's
reception
your
is
connection.
terrible.
Yeah. Tyler, check your bars, man. It sounds like you're going in and out, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, and that's but what that is, that speaks volumes to our plight in
Can you
America
hear
as
me?
black people.
Yep.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But what I want to say is too is that it's real. It's real crazy here, you know, because I found out even since I've been here, and this was when Obama was still in office, where the NAACP put out a memorandum saying that if you traveling through the state of Missouri while being black, you traveling at your own risk. And this was during the time when all that stuff in Ferguson had went down with them killing that brother Michael Brown, you know.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's really crazy, man, out here, and that's why once I get done doing what I got to do for myself personally, I got to get up out of here and get back east, get somewhere where it's at least where it's gonna be more on the equal balance playing field,
That's
you
right,
know.
yeah.
Ethnically, because I mean, it's dangerous in this time
Well,
being.
you know, you in dangerous waters because for one, you got to look at the root of things, they nature. You know, everything has a cause and effect and has a nature. And you look at this Caucasian, this European, they are xenophobic by nature. That means fear of the foreign. They are fearful of anything that don't look like them. Me and you can go into a Walmart and everybody gonna look at us like we about to just blow the place up.
Right.
But let two white people walk in a hood Walmart, we ain't stunting them. This is that xenophobia that's in them that they had when they came out of the mountains and the ice. That's a whole nother topic. But this is their nature. This is what is in them. So when you come in Nebraska and you come in these little towns and you one of the only black people, they looking at you like you making us uncomfortable within our nature. Because they are deficient genetic being compared to us. So you coming around is threatening their existence. I mean, this goes back to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing with the ISIS papers, you know, genetic annihilation. So you know, this is what it's really about. So a lot of times, black people, we come around them and we looking at them on the surface, but we don't know the deep rooted cause and reason where racism is even existing. It's for their survival, man.
Damn.
And you know, when I call back home and I talk to my people, about this, they can't, well, you know how that is. You really don't know how it is because you're not around them like I'm around them. You're not in the type of geographic areas like I'm at. So you really don't understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I do, man. I'm from Kentucky, man. My brother, we know. I mean,
I lived in Lexington, Kentucky. I lived in Lexington.
I'm in
Fairfield County, Lexington, Kentucky. What part of Kentucky?
It ain't too much better than Nebraska. It ain't too much better.
So matter of fact, when I moved here a few years ago, that's where I moved from. Kentucky. I moved from Fayette County, which is
Lexington.
So I know. What part of Kentucky you?
Louisville.
What part you in?
We Louisville.
Okay, Jefferson County. Okay.
But look,
the home of the greatest.
Muhammad Ali. That's right.
That's right.
We identify. That's why we say we're listening, because we identify. I can't tell you the culture shock. I moved to Atlanta at 16.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I can't tell you the culture shock it was moving from a very multicultural, and I ain't even gonna say multicultural, just really shit. The two dynamics was white and fucking black.
Yeah. The whites on top, blacks on the bottom.
Yep, exactly.
That's right.
And I really didn't see it that clearly into being removed from Kentucky. That's when I really began to understand how embedded it is in the institutions, in the social cultural understanding. because you begin to just to accept a certain way as normalcy. You don't see the inherent, you don't see the fucking racism in what's happening. It's just how it is. And
Okay.
it took me moving under that. It took me moving from that to see that racism in Kentucky, but to also see a different type of self-hate, a different type of racism reflected in the Negroes in Atlanta. Here I was in all black city and was like, damn, where do you shit? Was almost looking for white folk. Let me tell you something. One thing that black people can't do is be white folk. We make terrible white folk.
Right.
So black police officers, you're working too hard. Give it a break. You're not gonna get a raise.
Hey, brother Yanga. Hey, brother Yanga. I'm from Detroit. I understand clearly. I understand clearly.
That neo-colonialism was real. When them niggas pull me over, I'd be like, let me speak to a supervisor. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I had never seen Negroes be so enthusiastic to earn the approval of the white system, of white America and their white bosses. And that, I mean, by twisting and breaking a foot off in your black ass. And would call you a little nigger when doing it, you little nigger. I mean, yo, it's Atlanta really opened my eyes. Hey, we got a question for the panel out of the chat. Questions.
Okay. Yep.
You love America. If you could relocate or immigrate to another country or continent, which would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say I would stay here because of the simple fact a lot of these countries now are becoming theocratic. So we do have an illusion of a protection, which is called separation of church and state. And I've seen not only how black people, but people of color, one little disaster like in the Philippines happened, they're theocratic now. They used to be democratic like us. Now they're theocratic. I'm just like, yo, Islam is taking over, no offense, Yanga, but theocracies are taking over the world, man, slowly. And that shit is scary.
Yeah, no offense, Peggy. You know, I don't believe in theocracy.
Yeah, it's the truth. What you saying?
Okay. What about you? What about you, Kusal?
Well, what was the question again? If we had to leave, was it if we had to leave America?
It doesn't say if you have to leave. Son said he wouldn't leave, but it said if you could relocate or immigrate.
You know it'll be the continent. You know it'll be the motherland. If I had to relocate, it would be the continent. You know what I mean? Because if I could go with individuals with like mind and better mind than myself and better heart and spirit, but African spirituality centered, then to me we lead the way. You know, African Americans, we lead the way for all of the rest of melanated people around the world.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Our swag, our creativity, our brilliance, our commitment to the ancestors. It's African Americans. So I would go back to the continent and try to wake the brothers and sisters up. Because if you wake that sleeping giant up, if you wake the continent up, then it's checkmate for white supremacy. Because you know they colonized our brothers and sisters so bad on the continent, man. It's like when they come here, it's a shell of an African. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a shell of a person, man. Docile.
Yeah. What about you, soul brother? What about you, man?
You know, I've been, that's been quite on my mind, man, lately about the idea of going to another country. And the more I research, you know, I'm being pushed in the corner like, look, man, right now. Just stay.
You're breaking up.
And Nebraska got some bad reception.
Word.
If they're rednecks in Nebraska,
Yeah,
they ain't trying to hear this shit in Nebraska. They're like,
man,
no, man.
Goddamn, cut
is
that
watching
goddamn
me.
Boris internet. We ain't
We
having
ain't
that
trying to
Man
wake
goddamn
is
these
conversation.
niggers
Yeah,
up.
watching
We
me,
ain't trying to
brother.
wake these niggers up.
Goddamn
hey,
niggas, you ain't gonna
hey,
rile up the
hey,
niggas around here.
yeah. Hey, check this out, man. Hey, check this out. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got you,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Hey, listen, brother. Snup 7 be going back and forth about it all the time when we be on our panel. You know, he said, "Yeah, man, Nebraska, y'all do, man. It's unfortunate, man. You know, I'm strange about this place when it's one of them. Anyway, you
That's
know,
how they move.
well,
That's
like
how
I
they
was,
move. That's how they move, big bro. You know, you
yeah,
in a part of the country where the reception ain't good, and if they can move this around so the message won't get out, man, hey, it's easy for them, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's easy
yeah.
for them, man.
Easy.
But you know, I'm close to a metropolitan area. Yanga's close to a metro. Black Sun's in a metropolitan area, so yeah,
Yeah,
man, bro.
Yeah.
It
you
is
bringing
what
that
it
frontline report from the wastelands. Shout out to sister, shout out to sister
Hey, they
3GP.
say this supposed to be the hard land, but I guess you can call this the wasteland too.
Man, what your
Oh,
boy saying, Belly? What your boy saying, Belly? You in Nebraska?
Yeah.
DMX, what DMX or not? You in Nebraska? You the hardest nigga in Nebraska.
hey, man, Soul Brother bringing some soul to Nebraska, to them Cornhuskers.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
straight up. They'll give
Man,
No
a
but
doubt,
shout
man.
out to
Hey, man,
Sister
blessings to the brother.
93GP.
Blessings to the brother for joining us, man. For real, blessings, brother.
Indeed,
yeah.
man. Indeed. Let me send this shout out to the queen of the camp, man. Sister Nundy, 3GP. If you ain't subscribed and liked her page, jump on that shit. This is where my thing is spawning from. I appreciate her giving me the opportunity and the platform to come on out here. What's up, Nundy? If you got opportunity, jump on the panel. Don't do me like that. Don't make an appearance
Big
in
ups
the
to the
chat
queen.
and
Big
get
ups to
no
the queen,
blessing
man.
with your presence. Don't do it like that, man. Get on here and just say hey or something. Let them know I know you. Let them know I know you. They think I'm fronting. Yeah, no, that's some real shit. So we talking about year in review. Listen, you know, Son's thing was the storming of the Capitol. You know what mine is. Was the whole fucking George Floyd
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, the trial and the verdict and
And from the murder
Yeah.
to the handling of it by the people, the derail. I feel like actually the hijacking,
yeah.
because I'm a revolutionary. At no other time was revolution in there, had revolution been so close in the air for substantial changes to be made than at that particular time. But what happened is, in my opinion, you had motherfuckers to derail it,
Yep.
you know, and one of the ways they derailed it was throw these words that they know black people largely, collectively as a group, are politically apathetic, meaning, you know, we just don't give a fuck, or, you know, or we don't have the follow through to, or to know how to follow through. So they gave us these bullshit movements, and a fucking slogan like defund the police.
Right.
But when you go ask anybody what the fuck that means, chat room, tap it in. Jump on my panel. What the fuck is defund the police? I know what they were saying. I know what they're attempting to say, but I'm asking you if you knew what they were attempting to say, or did that just sound good? Those are very good catchwords. Defund police, hell yeah. But what does that mean? And so I think that the momentum, the opportunity, the climate, everything for real revolution or for the steps of revolution to begin were derailed and hijacked. But let's go back to the very murder of it, man. Let's speak to the, like Issa was talking about, the very nature. What type, did you see that devil's face?
Yeah.
When he was on the brother's neck?
Yeah.
I mean, man, come on.
Disgusting, man. Just the devil, man. Just the man, a kind of hatred and wickedness, man, we can't even relate to, because it goes back to lynching, taking a man and hanging him from a tree, or a woman or a child hanging them from a tree, then burning them, cutting their body parts up. That's something that ain't never been in our nature. And look, there's never been a situation where black men have come together and said, hey man, let's go hang us a white man tonight. But no,
never.
That's not in our nature. That's just one sign to show that we ain't the same. I don't care how much they try to do a rainbow coalition. We got to just look for shit for what it is, man. You can't make a with rabies, a poodle, a puppy poodle. You can't cuddle up to that thing.
And that's what they trying to do. And you're right. It just speaks to a wickedness, an unfathomable wickedness. Our minds can't even conceive. And here's the thing that I wondered though, is what point or when did we get to the point where we are so desensitized to human life that we sit back? I know it was people out there yelling, but that we don't intervene, or has the state really instilled so much fear in us that we won't step up and intervene to preserve human life?
I think it's the fear.
Definitely.
Is it fear, Black Son?
Yeah, I think it's the fear. Because people were yelling at him. People were yelling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they knew something was wrong, you know what I'm saying? But because, those are the police and they got guns and shit, people, they think twice, you know what I'm saying? They do.
Yeah.
They really, just keep it at 100, you know what I'm saying? But they knew something was wrong. And even if you bum rush the police, you still got cameras and shit. It's just a lot of factors that one got to think about, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, they should have bum rushed them and kicked their ass, but it's like, well, how many people were there? Were the kids there? Were the, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so many factors. But it boils down to just fear, man. Just straight up fear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, and I can see how that's possible.
Yeah.
I can see how that's possible. But it is it's just such a travesty.
Yeah.
Man, this is what we've been dealing with, and this is, you would have thought by now we would have woke up, but they keep us so disillusioned, and they keep our eye off the prize by these trinkets of games and being entertained and trying to be out here trying to be cute and shit. Ain't nothing wrong with looking good, but I'm saying that's all we really focus on is being entertained and having more than your neighbor. We in competition as a people. We need to wake up and love on each other and support each other, especially when you have black businesses. Support black businesses. But, it's like we in competition with each other, and that's not the right attitude that we should have. We shouldn't be in a competition for each other as a people, trying to outdo each other when you have all the other races and nationalities of the world working together and they're competing against each other. The whites against the Asians against the Arabs. But here we are, we're non-competitors against them, and we competing against each other for crumbs. Everybody fascinates about how much LeBron James making, Anthony Davis, and big ups to them brothers. They making a lot of money and they should be doing more with their money for the community. But look at the white man who signs they check.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Fascinated. Yeah. We get so fascinated with the small picture. The big picture is that the white community stole tons and tons. You can't even imagine how much wealth they accumulated and stole the time from the beginning of slavery all the way to now. All the wealth.
And continue.
And it's continuing. It's ongoing. It's a system. Because in 1681, there was before 1681, there was no term called white people. This is fact. This is historical fact. Do your due diligence, research it. Before 1681, there was no such thing as white people. If you was of Caucasian, or you would be if you was from Germany, you'd be a German, Spain, Spanish,
Yeah.
you'd be French.
Yeah.
But in 1681, they seen that they had a leg up on finding the new, conquering the new world, bringing slaves over from Africa, establishing slave codes, and now they have all this wealth and prosperity looking forward in the future with tobacco, cotton, sugar, and they said, you know what? To keep this all in family, we're going to create something called white people. And what's the opposite of white people? Black people. So when white people was created in 1681, so was the term black people.
Mm-hmm.
So they could create this new world order and keep all the wealth, all the resources within their community.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you got to remember the King James Bible. The King James Bible was constructed in 1618. See, they dealing with we are spiritual people, man. And this ain't nothing I got to sell to y'all. We've always been spiritual. Even big mamas back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, all the big mamas, even though they worship a white Jesus, they always live by Ma'at, which is an African term, which means truth, justice, and knowledge. They live by, not knowledge, truth, justice, and like harmony. And they live with that. They used to tell you, don't steal, tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But they concept of God was through a white lens, was through white eyes, a white perverted perspective. But they still have Ma'at in their spirit. See, so they have attacked us spiritually. So with that King James Bible in 1618, bringing on the curse of Ham with that story of Noah, trying to make with the Catholic Church supporting that and pushing that for the slave trade, saying, well, they're cursed. This is what's supposed to happen. And pushing that, they realized with that in 1618 and then in 1681, politically creating white people, bro, they created a matrix. And I know it's cliche, but they literally created a matrix, bro.
Mm-hmm. 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 And we see it in effect.
Yeah.
We see it in effect. And that I like how you broke that down, because that's what I tell people the black is. When they created that matrix, they created experiences.
Yep.
The matrix is a simulated experience. And that's what black is. Black is a simulated experience. It is the tangible manifestation of what the ruling oppressive class says is deserving of a treatment of melanated people. I don't care what you calling yourself. If the oppressive ruling class considers you black, you will get the treatment that they say is deserving for black people. It is an already preconditioned, pre-contrived, constructed fucking experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're born into that experience.
Yep.
So there's, we can keep practicing escapism, fantasy, romanticism, trying to change, what we call ourselves, praying that the national and international world look at us as something differently, and all of this other shit. Play with words and talk about etymology and that shit, which it has its place.
Right.
But until you are rich, I'm a materialist. I believe in like science and tangible change.
Yep.
Until you put yourself in a position for motherfuckers to recognize who you are and how you're gonna be perceived, they can call you what the hell they want to call you.
That's what they've been doing too.
Is what they've been doing. They used to have a saying back in the day when I was coming up. One of the classes of people picked on before they became a real world power was China. They used to say, "Oh, you ain't got a Chinaman's chance in hell."
Yeah.
They used to make all kind of jokes about the Chinese people. Them motherfuckers became a superpower. You don't hear those type of jokes anymore.
No. So same thing about the Jews. Same thing about the Jews.
About the Jews,
back in the 30s and 40s, early 40s, used to hear they're scum of the earth. Hitler tried to take them out of here. The next thing you know, they go steal Israel from the Palestinians, and they ain't looked back since. They a superpower community.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. They so bad they got niggas want to run around and be Israelites.
Oh man, that's a whole nother story.
That's
See,
a
there you
whole
go.
lot.
Why you hit the hornet's nest, man? See, you see, bro, my big bro, man, my big bro can't help it, y'all. Y'all got excuse him.
Yeah. What's up, Nundy?
I had to unmute myself. What's good, brother Yanga? What's up, Black Son?
Hey, Nundy.
Issa, how are you guys?
How you doing, Queen?
I'm fine. Just
That's
this
good.
guy's bill, you know. Y'all
Sit
made
up and
some valid points today.
Oh man, we coming. I'm glad to have East Stall on, man. Dropping, he's gonna bring that scholarship. So I appreciate him. We're sitting there just talking about year in review, and just kicking it. Everything that just went into the making of 2021. And if we're glad to be leaving this motherfucker, are we looking forward to 2022? Do we have any plans? What's the plans out there, chat family? And if are you sad to be leaving 2021? Did you get your groove all the way the fuck on 2021? Did you turn all the way up? Nundy, what about you, Nundy? Are you excited about leaving 2021? Or do you like, dang, just a couple more months? What's your take on it, your sentiment?
I would say it's balanced. I've had my share of crazy stuff this year. I've had my share of good experiences this year. So leaving it really is not an issue. It saddens me to see that still in 2021, a lot of the conditions that we are in as a people, like you already discussing, is still in existence. And I was listening to you all bringing up certain things about ways that needs to be, things that needs to be changed and ways to do it. But, I say this, right? Until we can separate those, because everybody's not going to go, right? Separate those that has the same exact purpose or similar plan to what we're trying to do and take it seriously. Teaching everybody I'm learning is a waste of time. And what I mean by that is like we teaching our Black people as a collective on how to survive, what separation is, what voting does not allow, certain things like that. But we still not paying attention to the fact that 5 minutes after we talk, they're going right back into the supremacist society that we live in. That's, changing the mind frame of the things that we're teaching. So until we come up with a way, one, to get resources, if we really keeping up with change, the currency has never been and never will be what they give us, what we consider to be fiat. So if we're not accumulating the same type of wealth, our mentalities are not keeping us separate like all of the other people do. And also building a structure, because even in their structures, if one of theirs cross them out, they get rid of them. Now, am I sitting here saying about murders and stuff like that? Because they go to the goddamn extreme. They'll eat up. They'll put them on the dinner table if they need to. Yep. But I'm just saying, instead of us looking at everything as a whole, we have to sometimes look at it like, as a separation of a handful. That's one of my mottos. I'd rather have a handful of real than a room full of fake. Once we get that way and lead by example, a lot of the things I feel will change. Nobody's leading by example. And like you said, Brother Yanga, it's no security. I remember when there's a lot of people, they won't fight, right? But if they see 20 or 30 of us fighting something, whether it's, we tired of marching and protesting, so we know that's eliminated, but at least 30 of us doing the same exact thing. Remember the Panther Party, it was only 6 of them. Panthers have multiplied by now, so it can be more than 6 that has the same methods of security and understand what we need to be doing. We'll gain some respect. I haven't seen that since the Panthers. Even the Muslims, no disrespect to those that practice Islam, but even the Muslims in certain organizations, let me say it that way, they look the tough part because there was a lot of them. and they were separate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something I wanted to add. You know, I want to take over the panel, but I just wanted to
No, that's
back off with
some
y'all.
great points.
Yeah, the Black Panther Party, they were the reason by J. Edgar Hoover, that devil came up with that famous quote: "We can't have the rise of a black messiah. We can't have a black nation. We can't have these black people organizing collectively. We can't."
I think you know what, and that's the major point. You know, with this in this age of sensationalism, in this age of a lot of these so-called Panther parties, they're putting a lot of the emphasis just on the arm aspect, the gun aspect, the you know what I'm saying? And anybody, Kustal, you know, because you Chairman Kahar's son, I'm Chairman Kahar's son. Nundy is a shit. I don't know how many years student of Chairman Kahar. So we
Black
know his
power.
teachings about the guns and the armament, about it being a deterrent, it being armed propaganda, it being a second or third phase, not the first phase. The gun is there to defend the institutions you develop. How you
Right.
niggas have guns before you feeding people? I
They
ain't
caught
saying
up in
don't
the
have your guns,
bravado
but
of
I'm
it. They
saying
caught up in the bravado of it, Younger.
right. Now, what they don't understand, Panthers had guns from the beginning. They didn't bring them motherfuckers out until they was being attacked, though. Now, hold on. You know what I'm saying? It's always been, and they always been for Black Panther Party for self-defense. It's when the brutalization started getting into a degree like Huey, like they had when he came out with his click, click. The law states, they begin to let these brothers know we ain't got to keep them tucked. We ain't got to, you know, but it was all accumulation, all part of a phase to get to revolution. Their programs are called survival programs.
I wanted to add another thing to what you said, Brother Yango.
Yes, ma'am.
Fear. It ain't even so much as having the guns, it's the fact that when self-defense stopped being the main, the main thing, when that was put on the back burner. So many of our people now fear defending their own, fear standing up for what they believe in, fear standing up for what's right. So when self-defense, like you spoke about, and self-determination, we went from refurbishing shoes to somewhere begging for shoes. That's what made a dramatic change in our Black community.
You better say that. And let me ride along with that. Let's build on that. That was so beautifully put. I would so agree. And to add in with it, this is what the fight is about. Self-determination. What they begin to show, and when I tell people the Panthers did that was so awesome, and what startled the state in America was they were showing Black people we possessed all the resources we needed in our community to be self-sufficient.
Right.
That's why they began to push integration so hard. They knew with integration came assimilation. It would take your pennies. You would begin to put your pennies back in the system. You would begin to want to be like the Joneses. You would begin to have different morals and different standards. Your community would completely change. I can't tell you the likes of when we've had a Black Wall Street. You want to know the end results of capitalist integration? Go to Detroit. Go to Cleveland. Go to these booming Black cities at one point in time when unfortunately we had segregation. I don't advocate segregation because I don't like people controlling our resources. But when them crackers thought they were hurting our feelings by keeping us separate, when you look at it statistically, and just go in the neighborhoods now, you don't even have to go through all the statistics. Look back at the time of segregation at the neighborhoods and look at them now. And you tell me the benefits of integration and assimilation as politics and policies.
And see, a lot of people, they say, why y'all always talk about the Panthers? Like the Panthers was the only ones did something. Well, let's go down a little trip down memory lane. We look at the suffrage movement that failed. We looked at the abolitionist movement that failed. We looked at Brown versus Board of Education, so many different levels that failed. And when we look at the Black Panthers, also, out of all of the organizations that created so-called programs like the NAACP, I call it the never accepting any nigger college fund. That's just how I look at it. But the NAACP, SNCC, SCLC, all of these RAM, all of these different organizations that failed at even developing any strategic methods for Black people, as well as power, and even us being separate, but allowing ourselves to have access to resources. Fuck equal, because what they might seem equal is not equal to what we believe in. Another thing, the reason why I look at the Panthers is because the governmental system, all of the programs that the Panthers created, some kind of way, has weaved itself into the governmental system. Sickle cell anemia testing, fearful signature against fearful environments.
Sure did.
Free school programs, the WIC programs, all of the different programs, they took from the Panthers and now put their name on it. Yep. And this is why I said we had a damn revolution, but some kind of way it got out of the hands of the people, and that took away the power. Damn the money, but that took away the power.
That COINTELPRO Sister Nandi was powerful. Them infiltrating with black skin, black bodies, actors and actresses. That had a great impact on the Panthers, causing division from the West Coast chapter to the East Coast. We know the history. So, it gets to the point, and I have to agree with Marcus Garvey to separate, y'all. I mean, we just going, at the end of the day, I just feel like us as a nation, for us to heal and to do some nation building, first of all, we're going to have to separate. How you going to build and try to grow and heal when you still around the very people that made you sick? That's common sense.
You know what? And I think that's a good point. I think, though, first, it's like what they say in addiction. You first have to acknowledge that you have a problem. I think and I will go back to that previous statement, years of assimilation has really blinded us to the sickness of proximity, to the diseases of mind and body that being in proximity to this devil, this savage, has given us. We look at our children, I look at my children now, the shit that my children accept, or not even my children, young people. The shit that young people accept as normal, from everything from just so-called political correctness to social interaction. You know what I'm saying? Is mind-blowing. And I can't help but to think it's called proximity. It's because of, I'm gonna go there. I was talking to my nephew. My nephew, 27, 28. So he's talking about a little incident, little encounter he had with a little sister he'd met. So he's telling me shit about this encounter. Man, I had to be, I didn't know some of that shit till my first wife, my first child. You know what I'm saying? Well into damn near adulthood. And the things that people are doing casually just lets me know how far we've come in our social interaction. That's just a social interaction. I'm with men and women. I'm not just talking about the bitch ass ways of some of these Negroes running around. Some of you Negroes are bitches.
Straight up.
That, we've gotten to this point that society has condoned and allowed, even being reinforced by these institutions that say you can't discipline your children. So I question, I question this whole thing of proximity. And when we talk about separation, really understanding, I tell my people, it's going to start with that shit, that real internal separation, the disdain for anything that is anti-productive, anti-black. You
And
got
that don't mean every black person with black skin, because as we know, we just can't go by that anymore. For a long time, you just can't say, oh, he got a black body, that's our brother or sister.
Right.
Those of like mind, like what Sister 90 said, those of like spirit that have the same geopolitical agenda for black people. Look, I mean, we need to try to, in the future, it might not be in our lifetime, our babies, but somebody got to spark it. It got to be put out there. Agenda got to be put together, and it can't be including these people. I mean, Democrats, Republicans, we know that's a big joke. And I could go on and on with examples. For instance, if integration was never a benefit for white society, they wouldn't have let it happen. Because shortly after we integrated, when what happened? Exploitation, all of the civil rights, all of the black power organizations was dismantled, and then they made gang culture popular. They pump drugs into the hood. So they looked at it like, let's let them integrate. This is what we gonna do to them. So I mean, they ain't never been our friend. They ain't never try to work with us. And I look at it like it's the so-called good white people are shields for the straight out front racists. Because how can you, let's look at this real quick, fam, and I'm gonna shut up. White people are very systematic. They can make a system for education, for the judicial system, for NBA, NFL teams, for this, for that, for polar bears. But y'all can't create an organization to fight white supremacy, worldwide dominance, because it's not in their best interest for their kids.
I want to add something to that, right? You spoke about counterintelligence. I look at counterintelligence, right, and this is why it flies above a lot of our heads. Counterintelligence has changed its color. It's now sending one of us to get us. Now, at first, they was doing that. Of course, it's not like it's something new, but it's more at its finest now. They already know from history that white supremacy, racism, prejudice, all of those different things, we automatically are going to trigger again. But what we won't pay attention to, what we continue to let fly over our heads, and what has infiltrated us terribly, is the black supremacy that comes out of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, when we go in certain areas, it's the black police officers. We look at, Moon 9 and all of these different people that had black mayors or black governors that was involved. And then you look at all of the black people that's still politically imprisoned, and it was black people who put them there and know that this shit ain't right. Even to the manipulation of them leading us to believe we had a damn black president. So a lot of this stuff we got to look at as a whole, and the only way that we're going to address it is first clean up ourselves, right? Then we can identify again what white supremacy look like. But when you're in predominantly black areas, and majority of the police brutality and certain things that you hear is going on, even in the damn judicial system, they've been traded the dogs and billy clubs and shit for robes, police uniforms, tasers and all this other shit. Now it's called blindfolded legalized lynching.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another formation of Willie Lynch. And they snatched the ball.
Absolutely. It's but that neo-colonialism, basically what you talk, like you said, blackface and white place. We know that that's an aspect of white supremacy. That's one of the things of white supremacy. White supremacy does it because, like Kustal pointed out, there's no such thing as white.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an experience. So white supremacy will be what they will show is supreme is their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Look at these niggas that even if like the Dr. Francis Quest Ruff pointed out again, shouts out, big up Kustal for bringing that to point.
Yeah, I say to the queen,
fear of genetic annihilation. Like we can literally outfuck the white man.
Yep.
Right. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? We can literally screw him out of existence, but he will live through cultural domination because we practice neo-colonialism. We more white than he is at times. If white is a experience through cultural expression.
See,
Damn.
white supremacy does not work. White supremacy. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
You good. I was just agreeing with Yank. I was saying I didn't look at it like that. Damn, he made a good point. I wasn't, I'm talking out loud. I thought I was on mute.
White supremacy doesn't work without black participation. See, if you don't have black participation, if you don't have that coon element, you don't have that self-hating element to go against those who are conscious, those who are progressive, for that people that's connected to the ancestors and connected to black pride and who we are. We the creator having a human experience. Let's just be real. And they know this. That's why they look at us with awe, like, damn, man, I've been getting over on God forever. When God gonna bust my head open and wake up? You know what I mean? That's how they look at us. Like, y'all the creators.
Yes.
Like, y'all the creators. Like, how, y'all the parent people. We come from y'all. Not only do we come from y'all, y'all taught us everything. Y'all taught us everything. Y'all laid the template for everything. So white supremacy does not work. White oppression does not work without black participation. Whether it be in Egypt during the Egyptian dynasties, when the Syrians came in and the Euro-Asians came in, or whether it be in Africa, in Ghana, wherever it may be, United States, we have to participate. And until we first, because what did Abu teach us, Yanga? What did Abu teach us? What did Abdul Kahar teach us? He said, if there was a war, who's the first person y'all go get? Right. And we used to say, we go get the redneck crackers. He said, nah, you go get that coon nigga. You go get that coon nigga, because that coon nigga gonna tell all the secrets. He gonna tell all the stuff that y'all need to keep in house to the enemy.
And you know what? He did a teaching on that. I laughed about it because I remember when we was in class, he said, oh, you traded your dog chain. For your dope boy chain, and you think a nigga free? Ooh,
Yep.
Wait a minute, because he made sense. You got they put your dog tag on you, put you in the front line to get knocked off.
Yep.
Now you chaining your damn self.
Anything they put out to us is going to direct us towards inappropriate behavior, family. I'll sit here watch a football game, and then during the timeout, you got 65,000 white people in there listening to a rap song talk about selling drugs and destroying black bodies, and they dancing and they celebrating off of it. If I was an alien coming from another planet, think about it. If I was an alien coming from another planet and I witnessed this and I seen these people killing each other all over these urban centers and cities across America, and then I seen another people that looked different than them because of skin color and acted different, and they were celebrating this behind music, it would be strange. Now, but they have made it common to us. That's how much of a spell and entranced we are.
I want to ask you a question because you break that down great. Like, and I ask myself this, like, why do you think with the type of music that's being made today, right, that it's more white people that listen to our music than we do? And why? I mean, in one breath, they would argue this is, crazy. This is, derogatory. We want to ban this music. But then they children listen to it while we forbid our children to listen to it. Well, why do you think that's going on today? What kind of message do you think white people are getting out of our music?
For one, they follow whatever we do. It's been pushed as popular culture to us. So we are the popular culture. We are the creators. They've always stolen from us ever since they came out of the ice mountains of Caucasus and Zargos. They've always followed us. So if we stop making it popular culture and stop falling for the trick because we so desperate to get the bag that those will sell their soul and promote inappropriate behavior to these children just to get some bags, just to show off. You see what I'm saying? We thinking as individuals. So they like that music because it doesn't threaten them. It only threatens black people. They only talk about killing niggas. They only talk about disrespecting black women. If you talk about some music, talking about uplifting black people, they in they subconscious, that's a threat to them. Because like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, and like Dr. John Henry Clark has said, the scholars of the past, it's about genetic survival. And see, black people, we so in a fairy tale land. We so away from reality. We so far detached from reality. Like
point. I'm sorry, Issa. I'm sorry. It's just something Brother Yanga taught me. when he was talking about the changes in music. Remember when we was talking about Two Live Crew? You brought this up a long time ago, Young. You was like, they made Born in the USA. They got banned, but when they made Pop That Coochie, they was the #1 hit. And you brought up somebody else. Damn, NWA. You was talking about when they was making Kill the Nigga, everything was good, but fuck the police. They ended up destroying the rap group. Why do you? This is what I'm saying. I know what y'all saying when they want to push violent activity and stuff like that, but even when you saying stuff like hypothetically fuck the police, that's pushing violence, and or certain things like Born in the USA, that's making a person think. Why they go after the music that makes us think more than the shit that makes us be reactionary?
Population control. We eliminating each other. We doing a favor. We doing them a favor. That music, they killing two birds with one stone. They making billions off the industry. I call it trauma culture. We have a death trauma culture that celebrates death, killing black people, and traumatizing black people. Man talking about fucking another man's wife and rapping over it, singing over it. That's trauma, man. That's trauma. And you got all the other people of the world dancing and singing off of our trauma and what we going through.
And absolutely. Well,
that's not normal.
I'll throw it in there back again too, and I hope that this answers a little bit, Nundy, to the question. When you talk about capitalism, black people have always been the fuel of capitalist America. Yeah. We have always been what keeps it going, even to the point of when they allegedly freed us. That when they allegedly freed us, that they somehow constitutionally made slavery legal. You see what I'm saying? So they always fed off of us. Here, what you see is further like what Kusal was talking about, black exploitation. You find that the white man just has gotten in on exploiting the misery and suffrage of black people. He did it with the Mac. He did it with, Superfly. Now he's done it with the music. Understanding
and make it popular, and he makes it popular. He makes you strive to be from the projects, from the ghetto. Like they make us like the lowest of our society. Like we are so diverse, but they take the lowest level of our society and push it out and say, this is what you should aspire to be: a stripper, a dope dealer. It's come on, man. It's what the devil does. This is what the devil does.
I think too, especially if we allow them to categorize us, we might, I agree with what you're saying, Issa, but I may just disagree a little bit in the delivery. I'm not going to so much just say, I agree with what you're saying, that you take the other side of our society. You take a society that has been developed and cultivated from motherfucking years of your bullshit. And now not only is this just the shit that we've cultivated off of your society, you want to take that and you want to exploit that. And so what I'm saying is this: we have to control our image. I wouldn't have I agree. Damn, how do I put it? You don't see the other side of us. You don't see our brilliance. You don't see our success. We don't have as many people investing. 50 Cent can go get loans. He can get the people to back him for a power, for some shit like that, some BMF. But we don't have, Spike Lee had to come out of his own pocket for Malcolm X. Other people had to make that type of shit. We don't have the backing of Hollywood. But again, go ahead.
I be forgetting sometimes. It's on what you building on. I'm gonna tell you why. The main thing they took out our hands, like you and Brother Issa said, when it comes to the lyrics and certain stuff that is out, is because they took the manufacturing and distribution from the black man.
Yep.
See, when we had brothers like y'all who was overseeing what young brothers would put out, it was about, it's like a jungle sometimes. It made me wonder how it keep from going on. Now, kill that nigga, fuck that nigga, pop the coochie. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't manufacture or distribute. We don't have great managers. We had good managers and promoters that would tell you, bro, you got to straighten up that tie or pull your motherfucking pants up. bruh, this is not, they actually taught the 4 elements of what we consider to be rap music. Rap was given lyrics. They twisted it around to confuse the children. They think they rapping. No, that was rap music. The elements of hip hop to me is hipping and hopping all over the goddamn place, teaching all of this extra shit. They got dresses and stuff on. So it's just like you said, Brother Yaga, when you don't control what is being put out, distribution, manufacturing, production, and overseeing our youth like we was when we was coming up on the Public Enemy and stuff, no way in hell will Professor Griff or any of those brothers would have allowed us to put out some shit like what's out today.
But you know what? And let me jump in there. You said a key. I want to jump in there on 2 factors, which was deep. One, I agree with you completely. Distribution. I think when they discovered the power of distribution,
the money in it,
they gave us our record labels. I really discovered the power of distribution when Ice Cube left NWA. You know, and they start going back and forth. And I'm looking at Death Row. I mean, I'm looking at Ruthless Records versus Street Knowledge, Ice Cube, NWA. And what got me though, what I noticed one day is both of them were being distributed by Priority. And so I began to start looking at the major distributors, Warner Brothers, Priority, Sony, and I see where the money was and who controls the flow and how that's controlled into commercialism. You know, Hennessy, clothing lines, all of this thing is, you know, controlled through our music. When we lost, because back in the day, if you was banging like that, it's because you was really the shit, because you was pushing your stuff out of a trunk. If you was banging hardcore really like that from like New York all the way to Kentucky, you was really good, especially if you was underground. You know what I'm saying? You was really, really good. Yeah.
Ask all y'all a question, because it's brothers on the panel. When we look at the African Bambaataa situation and the child molestation and the things that have been indicated, and he is the #1 person that our people look up to when it comes to the industry, right? How do we address those things today, considering now we can say certain things like Little Nas X's and, you know, what is his name? Young Thug and these type of individuals have not only taken over the industry, but they're openly doing certain things that we know the industry was not based on. Can we connect the dots to say that a lot of people that came through African Bambaataa consider he's the foundation of this industry, caused things to turn out this way? Or do you feel like there was something else behind the changes we see in 2021, you know, hip hop rap industry?
You want to say talk on the Cousteau?
Well, I don't know if the African Bambaataa. You talking about what his molestation accusations?
Yeah, what they say he molested over 100 of black male artists.
Yeah, I heard that. I read about that. That's crazy. I think when the white media heard that news, you know, instead of hiding it, you know, of course they're gonna push that, you know, because of what African Bambaataa represented and who he was the leader of, the Zulu Nation. So I don't think that really had an effect on 2021. I think 2021, what we dealing with in hip hop now was inevitable. I think we seen it coming with the.
It's a hole in my club.
I think we seen it coming with the, you know, just the drug culture. And also the promotion of just homosexuality in the music. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if African Bambaataa, his story, but we've all heard about rappers and entertainers doing homosexual acts in secret mansions. We've all heard this type stuff. This is some Hollywood type shit. This is part of the culture. This is the part of the culture that hip hop is in now. It's a multi-sexual, metrosexual culture. Look at Atlanta. Atlanta's the hub of hip hop right now, and it's full of men that are with men. You know, it's full of that.
I guess what I'm saying is like, just say allegedly, so these are some of the allegations. African Bambaataa touched KRS-One. KRS-One touched DMX. These are allegations allegedly.
You talking about touch like sexually, Carol?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh,
I done my
Lord.
research on this. They got KRS-One, they got Poppy, they got what his name is. It's a couple
Damn.
all over the internet on talking about they've came out. At least a good 15 or 20 people have came out saying that they were molested by African Bambaataa. All of them was boys from the ages of 15 on up. Now, a lot of these artists, like Puff Daddy and different individuals, Ice Cube, they all were affiliated and have even written songs and certain things when it comes to African Bambaataa. But now later in 2021, some of these brothers are also indicated allegedly in being involved in homosexual activity. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, and I can give you a list of them, Dr. Dre and so many of them that supposedly was turned out through the New York era of African Bambaataa, including Puff Daddy. So Malachi Z. York's son, the Dwight York, is that his name, that is in the industry, all of these different individuals that came from either affiliates and or some kind of way went through Zulu Nation.
So what's the question? What are you saying? Do you think that
I'm saying do you think that this is where the homosexuality activity in the industry started, and this is why it has taken over in 2021? That's what I'm asking.
That's what I don't necessarily think. I think that pedophilia and that type of illness and sickness and disease and perversity and all kinds of crime against the babies. I think, unfortunate truth is I believe that has existed in our community. I believe that African Bambaataa is just one of them predators. What I do believe, though, when you see homosexuality being what's his name? Nas X, Little Nas X. Isn't that his name? Yeah. I think that you just see what's inevitable. The LGBTQ community is a movement, and I think what you saw was inevitable. You seen that community has won its right to be recognized marriage and all the rights and things that go with marriage. They've have made other grounds in other areas of social life and shit like that. So I think them branching off into rap was only obvious. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Trekkie. Yo, I'm gonna put it out there. I geek out on that shit. And they got this new Star Trek Discovery, and on Discovery is a homosexual couple. It's almost impossible to turn on television now and not see it. I think that is just what happens with any movement. And that's why they call it movement. You begin to see them. They want to see themselves reflected more in social life and the things they do. So rap is one of those areas I think was inevitable. I think they're going to back it up with political muscle, economic muscle, like they've done everything else. And if you speak against it or come against it, you're going to feel the wrath of it, like Lil Boosie and everybody else that have had the audacity to speak out against shit.
Yeah, props to Boosie, man, for standing up. Props to Boosie for standing up, saying something against that, man. You know what I'm saying? For real, man, to have the heart, to have the nuts, to do that, man. For real, I was rooting for him, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. You living in a time that's a capitalist society for you. They give you that false ass, fake ass constitutional right, the First Amendment right. And the first time you think you're exercising that, this is why capitalism, motherfuckers show you about economic muscle. They'll show you about you talking out the side of your motherfucking neck. And they go, in fact, son, didn't we do a show on that, Black Son, with Dougie?
Yeah,
when they
passed
House Bill, I believe it was House Bill 40.
Yep, that's right. We sure did. Yep. And we did a follow-up show also.
And and we talked about how Zell Miller had, I think it was a baker who refused to bake a cake for a homosexual couple's wedding, and they sued him. And I think the governor kind of backed the baker, and all of these people got behind it, and these companies got behind it. And there was a bill saying that, private businesses should have the right of refusal to a people. So you had the homosexual community was upset. They garnished the black community. Some of the black community was saying, yeah, well, what if they did that to us? I say, well, fine. Don't shop with the cracker. If the cracker say, I don't want you here, nigger. Okay. So you don't want my money? I mean, you really want me to have a fucking fit because you're not going to take my money? Are you serious? So, but that's white entitlement and white privilege. Some shit niggas can't afford to get caught up in. Anyway, so the governor at the time, I believe was Zell Miller, was like, no, private businesses have the right of refusal. Man, the LGBTQ community put so much pressure on him. All these businesses start talking about pulling out and shit if he passed that bill. That economic muscle trumped even political muscle, and the right of people to have, a private say in their business, to where shit, he folded that shit quick.
Yep. And then we had a follow-up show with a cracker in, I think it was South Carolina. He got so caught up in it, he turned to the black people and said, "Judge." You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he felt the
How'd he say it? How'd he say it?
He said, "Judge." Yeah, he was basically the homosexuals coming at him because something about these couple wanted to get married, and they were like, "Yo, no." South Carolina was one of the last holdouts on homosexual marriage, and I guess it was a bunch of black people in there. He was trying to plead to the case, and he's just like, it's all wrong, and the Bible says it. Judge. I mean,
he turned into a black Southern preacher.
He showed it.
Oh man!
Right there in the assembly.
Yeah.
Assembly. So
he turned to the black people and said, "Judge."
Hey, that man, what Flavor Flav say? Okay, trust it, Judge. I ain't hurt nobody.
Right. So I said all that to say that that's a movement, and so movements begin to take it to go in all of those aspects.
Man, I'm just thinking about that, man, how the white boys backed into the corner and turned to us, and I'm just like, damn, what I mean, goddamn. Cause shit. I guess I don't know. What's your take on that, Yang? I remember we talked about that, man. We joked about it, but I still to this day I'm kind of tickled by that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
yeah, but I think going in this new year, man, they're doing more mandates, as you know. They keep coming out with new variants and shit. My thing is, if you get I don't want to get off the subject just for 1 second.
Talk to me.
If you get this jab, is that good for the Autobot variant? I call it the Autobot. I don't know what the fuck.
They calling it the Omarion.
Omarion, okay. I call it Decepticon.
I think it's called the Omnicron or some shit.
Omnicron, okay. Yeah, it sounds like a goddamn transformer and shit.
It do, don't it?
It does.
It really do. Mama, can I get that Omnicron for Christmas? Man, shit.
So my question is, so they got all these boosters and they all got, so is it good for that one too? Because it seems like every time you get a booster, then you got a new variant and shit. So is it, I mean, I don't know. I'm just questions.
Man, I wish I could help you, man. You talking to the
don't believe
one of the last holdouts, man. I'm me and probably a couple other people on there.
Facts.
Shit.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm
I haven't taken. Well, I haven't taken one vaccination yet. I haven't taken
Neither
not
have
even
I.
one yet.
Neither have
well,
I.
me
I've been doing
neither.
my research on it, and which is crazy. My entire family, just about right now, is dealing with COVID. That's one reason why I haven't been live. And what's crazy is that my niece is in the military, and she got all of the shots and whatever else she was supposed to get. And not only is she sick, but she has the worst trait of it.
Oh
So
shit.
basically, hands on with the situation with everybody dealing with this, the so-called virus, um, and those that weren't vaccinated, because like myself and a lot of my other family members, we are anti-vaxxers versus those that were vaccinated, and they are actually more sick. They're having reactions, breaking out of hives, swelling of the tongue, slurred speeches. I mean, a lot
Damn.
of other things that's going on because the reaction of the virus is some kind of way triggering something that's in the shots, which we already know that the virus is in the shot. But when you
Damn.
mix it in with more than one variant, just say that they made the COVID-19 the first variant, the vaccination is attacking that. But the second and third variant is coming from a different form of virus. So it's like mixing
Like a
HIV and
cocktail.
AIDS together,
Yep.
cancer and diabetes together, and they both detrimental to the body. Same thing with the viruses. So people who they also had 534 deaths overseas, and they were all vaccinated from this new variant. So that's just maybe a little bit of information that I can give you all about what goes on with those vaccinated versus those that are not vaccinated.
Yeah. Thank you, Queen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nandi. Because yeah, it's just I'm just a little. Every time I look up, it's a new variant. Then they got a new booster, and we got a new booster, and another variant. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so it just I don't know. I kind of, but I'm on the side with you, Nandi. What you just mentioned about that side of the family. I'm on that side too. I know we can't say too much on YouTube, but yeah, I'm on that side too. So I kind of just sit back and I listen and I observe. You know what I'm saying? And like it's been said before, um, let's just say we're still under the experiment stage right now, and that's all I'm gonna say. We got getting, it is what it is. So I'm just leave it at that. But yeah,
You know what? All this stuff is so real to me.
yeah,
Like I said there again, man, I'm gonna reveal some of my geek side. Man, this reminds me of those movies I used to
yeah,
watch where people had masks on. You know the movies of the future
yeah, yeah,
where
like
people were
Resident
walking
Evil.
around with
Yeah,
masks and all that stuff. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. You hear it. You hear it, man. You in that movie.
right.
Damn, damn. Boy,
Real
boy,
talk.
boy, boy, boy.
Yeah,
But see, the
man.
I
key
mean, what?
thing to that is a lot of people like us, we analyze all of this stuff because we know a certain type of messages. When we
Yeah,
see that type of stuff, we're supposed to act on that type of stuff. You
Right.
know, Brother Yanger, for years we talked about it's gonna be a pandemic. You know how many people used to laugh at me?
Yep.
It's gonna
man.
be a
I listen. I appreciate you putting me in there, giving me those big props. For years, you used to talk about, not just talk about. Let me go and put it out there.
Yo.
You had a pandemic pack.
Yep.
I think you was having pandemic pack before Cats was talking about bug out bags. You had a stored up pandemic packs. Everybody be talking, what you talking about a pandemic? I think Negroes had to look up pandemic. Shit was heavy.
But you know
So
what? The reason why I say that is because the people that I was surrounded with, they listen.
Yep.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
started collecting coins and cans. I mean, we started just, collecting food. And I could almost guarantee that when the pandemic hit, we were some of the people that was prepared for just about anything when it
Absolutely.
came to, taking care of the people. Now, two things I want us to look at, the reason why I brought that up. When we weren't participating in being the consumers, the government failed. They went under. Like, it's so many businesses that shut down. So this is a prime example of what non-participation will do to their system. But also, we was prepared to, when it came to food and stuff, we looking at our people, they out there buying all the tissue and buying all the food. See, the thing is, what I looked at as well, people be saying black people ain't ready, and yes, the hell they is, because we was the only ones that went out and bought stuff, and we all used our head. A lot of people sat on money. A lot of people, they didn't spend like they was gonna spend. Inflation killed this government to the point now where they give you sign-on bonuses for you to come and be a slave. So separation, and then us having the control, because that was another thing. Without us making the resources and just distributing the resources, shit, they didn't have no benefit off the resources. See, and now if we looking at 2021, they are losing resources to the point where grocery stores are empty.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? People can't get no gas, but they don't know it's a lot of black people who use their head to stock up on all of this stuff, because we ain't crazy. The winter time is the worst time of flus and different certain germs and stuff. So people was already prepared around this time of the year to stay in and stay out of the way. And it's not bad yet. Winter just started on the 22nd of December according to their Gregorian calendar. But I'm just saying, if we looking at those aspects, we haven't even gotten into the coldest winter, as they say is coming, and the diseases and viruses that's going to be passing through. So if they go through one more non-participation of blacks, because we spend the most money on unnecessary stuff, the government gonna fail anyway. That's gonna be the fall of the dollar. It's already there. Yep. But without the backing of the labor of the Negro, the dollar is nothing. See, they exchanged the gold for the Negro.
But like you said, my thing is, like you say, see, I don't know much about the non-participation, the way that it's been explained to me. Because first of all, it's just too idealistic in the sense that it depends on one big if. It's almost like it depends on the act of God, and as revolutionaries, we proactive. How do we incite the revolution? We can't wait for everybody to say, hey, you know what? Like when I asked Lex about it, I was like, well, how did he say, oh, would you just gonna say, man, I can't do it by myself. It take all of us. See that right there, you lose me. That's almost, I might as well be like the Hebrews. I might as well pray for something there. That's too much of an act of God. How do we incite non-participation? How do we incite?
The same thing that the white man did. You design a system.
Yeah, it takes a system to defeat a system. That's right, Nandi. It takes a system.
Exactly, to only include your people. That's non-participation when you setting up systematic ways to separate. Meaning, if we got a president over here, like people don't realize it's very simple to build a nation. It's actually ways they have it online to build a nation. They didn't say you had to go nowhere. They said get a certain amount of land, create you a flag, and get certain individuals in place to strategically build your government.
That's the key. Now, if I can add on, that's exactly what it's about. It's about the culture. It's about like a constitution, and that's what we lived by in Africa before we was interrupted by this Caucasian. Is that we live by an unwritten constitution of you share with your neighbor, you don't violate. We live by a code that was an unwritten law. So that's I see exactly where you talking about. It has to be a system.
Absolutely.
Our culture now is that of death, hypersexual behavior, deceit, individualism. It's totally against what our ancestors was on to keep Africa in place for hundreds of thousands of years. It's totally opposite.
The main thing is also the fact that it's integrated now. Our system was also ran by us,
By just us, exactly. That's why I said we got to separate.
But I think what Nundy, that's why I say, Nundy, you're probably a better champion for non-participation than what you're talking about doesn't even remotely sound like what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting, I totally agree. That's revolution. A counter, you have to have something to counter the bullshit. What I was getting from him was what Kustal was saying: death, destruction. Like he's saying, we just got to stop, and then what's left is what we rebuild with. But do you? I mean,
Now,
like,
can I add something to that? Death and
yeah,
destruction. See, this is the problem. Our people are the only ones that don't realize that it would be no revolution without bloodshed. And what we said, we're not talking about death and destruction like we just gonna go out here and kill all the enemies. That's not what they did. They came up with a strategic plan to first get up under us and learn everything that we know. That's the first manipulating tactic that they use. Secondary, after they learned everything they know, they stole everything we had. Once they did that, they mind fucked us by separating us from what we truly believe in order for us to forget all of the things that they took and learned from us. After they did that, then they put in security, they put in their own flag, they added stars and stripes, they did all of this shit to finalize them being a nation. And what they finalized in that nation is no matter what goes on, white supremacy will always run this government and stand on this nation. So when we look at how they organize their plan, we scared to take some shit. No disrespect. The white man
no,
said,
that's not a disrespect. But what you're saying is not non-participation. What you're laying out is a whole plan and an outline. That's not.
You let me
not
finish. You let me finish. And I'm gonna be short. When I'm saying that, you can't non-participate without any resources. Let's use Muammar Gaddafi. The reason why they got rid of Gaddafi wasn't because he was trying to organize Africa. We all know that was a bunch of bullshit. Gaddafi was an Arab. But the system that he brought in that would give everybody an equal amount of everything that comes through them selling their gold or their oil or whatever they was going to benefit off of. That was a way of him building an entire government that would have X'd out all the other governments. It would have dominated the governments. We would have immediately separated ourselves and would have been non-participants of the USA and participants of what Gaddafi was trying to not only build in Africa, but all across the globe. It's the same thing with us. I think fear and not truly understanding what resourceful things is in order to dominate a government is an issue that we have. Because if we understand the critical things about assets and coal and gold and silver and all the things that creates their pockets and lining Wall Street, and we know now that this stuff is more accessible to us than it was then, we can build our own government and control the main resources.
Okay. Now, let me say this. What you're saying, if it is non-participation or the way you're defining non-participation, we have to have a discussion between what's the difference between what you're saying and revolution. What I get from Lex was not that. I don't think because someone says, in speaking to Lex, death and destruction, that's fearful. What I got from Lex, and he's not here to defend himself, so I'm not even going to say him, in the non-participation that I've been led to hear, outside of you explaining it, sounds defeatist. It sounds like let's just give up and let's hope that the system collapses on itself. One, I said in the beginning, why it sounds idealistic is because, one, it takes too many people to begin the process. Secondly, is like I said, it's like sitting the way it was explained to me, not the way you explained it, sitting and just waiting for shit to implode despite what is going on around you. Now, why I said the way you're talking, I agree, because it sounds like revolution. It sounds like you create counter institutions, not only to assist you through the collapse and destruction of the system, but also help push over the edge the destruction of the system. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I agree what you're saying when you broke it down like that. Non-participation in the sense that my participation is going elsewhere. Not in this shit, but I am participating in shit that will bring an end to this oppressive system and begin the building of a just one for me. but in the process of building, it also made the transition a little easier or a little bearable or whatever, planned or strategic, or you know, not just haphazard. That's all I was saying to him. But the way you're saying it, yeah, shit, it sounds like a plan.
Yeah, man. You know, you the sister, black son, y'all laying it. We laying it heavy, man. I'm about to get off here, big bro. I got some business to handle.
Hey man, I'm glad you hung out for a minute. You know,
Yeah,
anytime, bro.
I want to tell y'all Happy New Year. You know, may the next New Year be prosperous and blessed for all of us and be a peaceful one. You know,
Yes, I say,
I just want to thank you, bro, for letting me get on this platform with y'all, and hopefully I can get on again, sometime soon, man.
man. Listen, this is home now, bro. Say less.
Okay. Okay.
Say
Okay.
less, Christoph.
All right. Peace, sister 90, black son.
All right, peace, brother.
All
Peace,
right. Peace,
peace.
Peace.
big bro.
Yeah, man, it's good to have my little brother on. But some good shit going now because we're coming into a new year, and only sensible people will go into that new year attempting to attempting only sensible people go into the new year attempting to do something different. You know, the same if you stuck on stupid, you gonna go into the new year doing the same shit. I hope you don't be expecting different results. Everybody know what they say about that. But we're going to doing the same shit. I hope not. But man, who knows? What's your plans for the new year, Sister Nundy?
I'm just gonna relax. And I got some new ideas that I'm trying to bring to the table. So that's why I just been taking a break, getting my studies on, and there's some new things I want to try to put together, like some programs and stuff. So other than that, nothing much.
Oh man, I already know it's going down there. Especially if you got some new plans coming to the A. Support Sister. Drop the cash app, Sister Nundy. Support Sister Nundy. The endeavors, the work that's going down in the A that she's doing. We old school. A lot of times we old school. I sometimes I don't know if that shoots us in the foot. You know, we're the people that will get out here and do the work, but because we don't like to exploit people, we don't like to. That's why you may go on there on the channel and see an old film of us doing something when we really begin our community work. But it's hard to, get out there and show. You want to show people what you're doing, but how do you do that tastefully? How do you do that and still respect human dignity, human decency? I know if I was down and out or just had one of those moments in my life and someone calling themselves to come to assist me, and I'm like, yeah, well, thank you for the sandwich or whatever. Then you throw a damn camera. Now holla Black Power. Fuck your Black Power.
You
Holla
know,
Black.
something I agree with that. Because what about people who have gotten their lives together, and they don't want to remember that downside in a couple of years from now? Their kids or
Right,
somebody come pull up a video. This is what you was doing, and so I learned that
right. You know,
capitalizing on putting people out there. I think it's foul for a lot of people. Now, if you want to do exclusive interviews or something with somebody, I'm sorry, y'all, because y'all know I've been under the weather. Then that's different. But like you said, exploiting people just to, show that you're doing something and stuff, I think it's wrong.
man, I couldn't agree more. But you've heard me go on and on about the state of society. Like we live in a voyeuristic state, a very exhibitist um state, man, where we just everything is sensational. We watch everything. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is private. We dehumanize life. There is no sanctity to life. So human decency and that person's dignity is second thought to us. We'll get out there, like you said, because we want to be seen, we want to be known. We'll just put that person out there. no regard to just integrity. Just, damn, I am a human. I am somebody. Damn, really? Like that? You want to like or Facebook or follow that bad? And this is what we're coming to. I can appreciate social media by bringing the world closer together. They've made the world a closer place. We got our sister Poetic, shout out to Poetic. She's out, I believe, UK. I've met people on here from various parts of the globe, and I think that's wonderful. That's awesome as shit. However, man, it has just desensitized us, dehumanized us because of our lack of real human interaction at times. And this is just how I feel about it. Chairman Carr used to say that. He used to say we have to go from Facebook to back in your face. Real social interaction. Getting to know your people. You know, that's the only way this thing works. I think that coming up as a Panther and sitting under, especially when we had when we was banging out there in Kirkwood with and seeing the people in the morning, that actual human interaction and connection, you get a lot more done. You get a lot more done. There again, I encourage. That's why I say, man, support the sister. Get out and support me. Tribal Life Services. Get out here with the that's really trying to bring this thing into some type of fruition. And I would encourage y'all to get out there and interact with people. Don't be behind the computer screen stuck in your damn head thinking crazy as shit.
Right.
You know. Nandi, I didn't get around to asking you though, what was one of the biggest moments for you in 2021?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's something I got to think on.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I've had some crazy moments. So, wow, I think that's something we can go down New Year's Day.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
crazy moments we've had 2021. That'll be a good idea. I hadn't even thought about that.
Okay. 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 That's perfect. We'll have that. We'll do that New Year's Eve. We'll all jump on the show. That's gonna be something to get something to ride off of. And let's hear about the end of that crazy year. But I know that, 2021 for me, like I said, crazy year when you look at socially, politically, just the whole fucking climate for black people. We saw, I think this year, Black Lives Matter was exposed. Wasn't she exposed for some shit? Like misappropriations of funds or something? Does anybody know anything about that? Son,
Also,
you know anything about
yeah, and they also bring by Jews though. They Soros, George Soros, I think.
Charles Soros, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they was
See,
exposed for a lot. They was also started by two homosexual women, and it was more about gay whites than black whites. So it was really Black Lives Matter for the black LGBTQ community versus Black Lives Matter in general.
And Domo just had a debate on that too. Just had a debate
yeah.
on that. Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't. First of all, it doesn't surprise me that it was funded or founded or largely endorsed or supported by Jews. That isn't surprising and shocking to me. I mean, when you look at the history, I think it's Cornel West who has an excellent book on the Black Jewish relationship. Uh, but when you look at our history, the history of the black and Jews in America, man, it's always been interwoven like that from the founding of the NAACP. And you know, shit, I can't help but to say that it's a distraction for real black liberation and revolution. It's my mighty funny coincidence. Every time we get the momentum to really make some hard knocking fucking changes for us, we got these outstanding organizations and super black people that pop the fuck out of nowhere and got all the solutions and answers. You know, we
Well, they've
better
been doing
look
that
at
since the
do
days
your
of
history,
Malcolm
black
X.
folks. Go back, look at
Yeah.
the black-Jewish relation all the way back to the NAACP.
Or the
And
Big
and it
Six.
ain't no anything. And here's how you know they look. You used to live in their neighborhood. They ran all the stores. They ran all the stores. You thought you was building up a relationship with them. You worked for the Jew. You catered to the Jew. And when the Jew was done with you and moved out of your neighborhood, did he sell you the store? No. He sold it to the damn Korean. Did he help you set up something to get your people out of what his people were in? No. Nigga, know your place. That was their sentiment. Don't tell me. And like Gustavo was saying earlier, we have the audacity to really buy into this whole system and this spirit of competition in this free market system as if we can afford to compete with one another and them. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. You know, and there is no individual upward mobility, a better life for the individual. Until you're recognized, until people recognize that there are real ramifications and repercussions for dealing with you as a people, not uh token symbols of justice being meted out, token symbols of something to deter, something to act as a deterrent from killing your black ass. Not that. I'm talking about real justice. Until that's meted out, there's nothing to deter them. You can get all the money you want. You can get your money. You can think that you climbed up economic class. You daddy Warbucks, you big dollars. Richie rich. And because of racism in America, the fabric of racism, because white privilege, white entitlement, that cracker, that devil, that's what don't feel like you deserve that big fancy car that you're riding in, boy, pulls you over and blows your brains out, or cripples you, or beats you, pummels you, because he don't feel like a nigga should have. So you can keep buying into this capitalist system, keep thinking you can throw money at the fucking issue. Keep thinking you can throw money at the issue. Until Big Bubba pull you over, don't care nothing about your money. How much to turn them their white only pies into nigger pies?
Yeah, they'll take your money anyway when you got it. They'll give it back.
Okay. Take your money anyway. There has to be some real ramifications and repercussions for fucking with one of us. It's damn near safer to be a sissy than to be a black man. Shit. Oh, did I say I'm not allowed to call them sissies no more? Am I? Am I allowed? Am I going? They gonna ban me from YouTube?
I don't know.
I don't know. I bet I say that. LGBT.
I've heard worse though.
Okay. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm old head, man. I'm old head. You liable to call me the Black Archie Bunker. You liable to hear anything come out my damn mouth. That's where I am prehistoric on some of this shit, archaic. But they say it's safer to be gay than be black. I heard one brother say shit when he walked through a white neighborhood, he gonna put a pair of high heels on. He said because if they kill a black man, that's it. But if they hit a black gay man, or if they hit a gay man, they ass in trouble. See what I'm saying? So you have this sense where we are so expendable and targeted that now not only is it not cool to be a black man, it's damn near you got people saying it's not safe. It's safer to be something else. Hell, they got a whole, and I appreciate you, Sister Nanny, turning me on to it. What is it called? Manosphere and Woman's Sphere.
I was
They
over
got a whole,
all the manosphere and the womansphere, the gender wars of YouTube.
yeah, They got a whole system perpetuating the further denigration and belittling of the black man, man. Totally putting us in the wrong aspects of an epic, in the wrong aspects of history. You got that shit so distorted. You need to be a sociologist and not just a psychologist and not just an opinionated Negro, a Captain Saver sister, or some angry, disgruntled black woman to really assess that problem and to make the fucking sweeping generalizations that you're making. Some of this shit you're attributing to the black man, impossible. Impossible. Let's keep it real. The very things you're accused, the very reason you say you are not with the black man, you're accusing him of being the perpetrator of. You're saying you're not with the black man because he's impotent, not sexually, but because politically, socially, even emotionally, you're saying he's bankrupt. He can't do shit. Then you turn around and holler about how he's this great oppressor of the woman. Quit mistaking us with that white man. Quit mistaking us with him into weaving the struggles, interweaving your struggles. First, know your struggle as a people. This white woman can practice a white feminism because she understands white struggle. I bet you she know her history. I bet you. The white woman knows her history. Not only does she know her heritage, her lineage, she knows American history. She knows about the woman's suffrage and Betty Raw, what was her name? Betty Ford, Betty Raw, whoever sold the damn flag and all of this shit. So we don't have a clear understanding of our history. And when certain things transpired for us socially, culturally, you're making a mud pie. You're applying shit to us that at times historically, socially, politically, and economically was impossible for us to do. It has been a process to demasculate and to take the power away from black men from slavery. That has been one of the ploys.
I agree.
You know, thinking that they were gonna, but not understanding really, because they were a patriarch society, not understanding really how we work anyway. We are really a matriarch society anyway. We're really a matriarchal society anyway. So it wasn't a complete annihilation and destruction of, they thought we were like them. They thought we hated our women. They thought we devalued and didn't appreciate our women. They didn't understand our culture and the workings of our culture. You see what I'm saying? So when we came over here, and I think that just now, probably within the last maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 years or so, understanding how phenomenal and dynamic this black woman is and how down she was, not just with her black man, with her fucking genetic bind and tie to what she is as a species. She's a black woman. Everything naturally in her wants her to preserve and continue black life. Even if that means she got to love this raggedy motherfucker through some shit. What? I mean, what is it natural about that? You don't see the dog saying, fuck it, I'm going to go get a cat. Just fuck it. Just fuck it. I can't, yeah, fuck it. Go give me a duck. We the only people that think we really have that option. Nobody says that. even though they date outside their race. You don't find nobody saying that stupid ass shit. You don't find white men trying to find a reason to date black women.
Right.
That's how you know something's wrong with it. It's always a motherfucker doing something wrong, making an excuse. It's like your child. Why you doing? Oh, see what happened, and then the light got my eye, and I stubbed my toe, and when I stubbed my toe, it's always a motherfucker that got some type of guilt complex that feels like they have to offer you some cocky mammy excuse to do the bullshit that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is stupid. And you gonna try to hold us accountable. You said what?
I was just saying they don't look at the psychological effect that it has on other people when they're talking crazy stuff like that.
Exactly.
There's a lot of young women. Do you know that there was 2 people that committed suicide behind some of the shit that the Womansphere has said, and they laughed about it.
Wow.
You know, they thought
it
it
doesn't surprise me.
You know, so it's crazy telling the little black boy he wasn't never gonna be nothing. Blase. He ended up committing suicide, and a sister who went to the swirl and it was treated a certain way and came back and talked about it also, you know, suicide eventually. You have to put that in there. So, but they found it to be funny and spoke about it. So I guess I can speak on it the way that I am.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what ignorance breeds. Insults, hurt, pain. They want to emulate white people so bad that they begin to take the tactics of white people. When you don't have an intelligent rebuttal, when you don't have a logical response, you resort to insulting, to shaming. This is how you try to, it's the bully mentality. You try to bully. Take your black self, you're not making any type of sense. And this is what they do. They try to shame you. It's ignorant. It's really, I think, first of all, just from a black man's perspective, and I'm an empath. I have empathy. I've been given an over pinch of empathy. And so my heart goes out because a lot of these knuckleheads are young women. A lot of these knuckleheads are young women. The ones that are going to the point of belittling the race to which they belong and children, a lot of them are young and caught up. And so my heart goes out to them because they sound stupid as hell. They don't know
about how many of these young women will go home and kill their black men, or kill their black babies in the womb, or kill their black sons, or vice versa. Which I've never heard the manosphere saying anything like that, but I'm just saying, what if some of these murders or child abuse or some of this stuff is some of these people that's following the things that's being taught through this so-called womansphere, manosphere, gender war?
I'm sure. You have to create a sentiment. People may say, oh man, y'all sensationalizing it. You're making it bigger than it is. But I mean, when you study history, Nazi Germany, Hitler didn't just walk into a position of power. Hitler started in a bar room, in a bar with beer drinking white men. And he was just articulate enough and fiery enough to get people to really pay attention to some bullshit rhetoric of a group of people being inferior and being the cause of all their problems and why they're not what they should be and all of this type of stuff. Very similar or not dissimilar to the shit we hear these women spitting. So yeah, it creates a sentiment. And I've said the same thing you said, Nundy. My concern is how many of these blockhead broads work in positions that really are influential in society or affect our day-to-day going abouts, like doctors, judges, police officers. What if I run across one of these blockhead broads that is already biased from the jump as a judge or a police officer or a doctor? Man, can I really depend on them to save my life. That's the dangerous aspect of it to me. You know, so it is. It's wild. But it's nothing new. I mean, listen, my man from the Boondocks, he made a whole caricature. Uncle Ruckus they are the female Uncle Ruckuses. And why wouldn't they be?
Thanks.
What's the difference between them and Uncle Ruckus? You know, that nigga over there. That don't trust them niggas over there. Uncle Ruckus.
Good point.
What's the difference? There's nothing new to our evolvement and our development as black people. Are constantly fighting to grow. We have always had viruses. We're fighting the coronavirus now. They are nothing but a virus in the black community. And the few Negroes that play host to those type of sicknesses. You know, that won't correct them. I don't know, out of misguided chivalry, maybe being gentlemen. You know, I don't know. But at some point, you have to draw. I'm not saying you have to cuss anyone out. You have to be profane and explain it. But at some point, you have to stand up for black malehood. It's not about standing up for all the manhood. Don't give a fuck how you feel about that white boy. What I'm saying is, you're putting all this shit on me as a black man, and the person that you're saying that I did all this shit to you as a black man, which is impossible. I mean, generally, as a collective, maybe individually you went through that. I'm not going to say what you did, and I wasn't there. But collectively, as black males, who you admittedly say are impotent socially, politically, economically, yet we did all this shit to black women, and the one who is through history, historical facts, and even their contemporary practices show that they don't like women. But you run into these motherfuckers. It's the damnedest thing. Call me a fool. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. I ain't nobody's fool. I don't care nothing about wearing a cape or being a gentleman or being, practicing chivalry to a blockhead broad. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
And it's crazy because it makes you think, then you got millions of followers. Like, what are these women doing every day? How do they mind think? What are their kids going through? How do they look at their sons and push these type of things? And even if it's a bunch of white supremacists or foreigners that's in there, like, how does this benefit us as a people?
That's the point. It doesn't. And they don't. They don't want to. That's the most radical form of escapism. That's extreme escapism. Maybe I will fully be accepted to the white side if I advocate the complete annihilation of black people. If I champion the destruction of black people, maybe I will then fully be accepted. Dating a white man ain't doing it. My blonde wig, my blue eye contacts, my whatever, white dick in my mouth is not enough. Maybe if I publicly go out and advocate to complete destruction of not just black men, but babies in the womb. Let me take it one step. Let me get crazy with it. Maybe then they will accept me. And guess what, sweetheart? You will always be a nigger bitch. You will always be a nigger bitch. As long as you run around here melanated and got a flat iron, straightening and do all that other stuff. Some of y'all don't have to. I understand the real ones out there don't have,
But see, what they don't realize either, eventually, what they don't realize either, if all the black males become mystique, the nigger bitch ain't gonna be here either. So what you saying about yourself? What you saying about black women as a whole? If the black male is destroyed, how do we create black women?
I think that's the ultimate goal, though. I don't think that they want it to be black women. I think it's black women now because they're fighting the black man. I think they want to homogenize. I think that they want to eventually even that fade out and it just be women. If they could be white women, if they could be white women, they wouldn't have this problem. They don't want to come out and say that. That's what you should ask him. What do you, if you have a problem with black men, okay, what do you like about being black though? Do you like being black? What is it about being black you like?
They holiday pro-black. They be one first. They black women all day, but hate the black man. This is their motto. Be one. Black
Right.
first. How?
That's what I'd like to know. You know, how? How are you black first? If you don't advocate the continuance of the black race, without black man and woman, there is no continuance of that black race. So how are you black first? Impossible. Impossible. How are you black first? Impossible. It's an oxymoron. It's like frozen fresh. It's impossible.
Facts. Frozen fresh. Ooh.
You know, impossible. Hey, poetic.
Hey, Happy
Hey.
New Year from the UK.
Indeed.
Happy New Year to you guys.
I just wanted to
International
say
New Year.
that. I just wanted to cheer you up a bit and just to say a quick hello, and I wish you all the best. Can I add to what you're talking about very quickly, Anga? Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by what's been going on, you know, with the events of late. It is a shame. There are things that on both sides that need to be addressed from the women and the men. 2022, things may get even more worse before any sign of things getting better start to shine through. But I just want to say that although we're from different parts of the world and you're all in America, I just want to say that it's really good to see the three of you on the panel. I think you make a great team. I hope that next year sees more work from, you know, the three of you pushing through the barriers of the challenges that you have ahead of you. And it's good to hear the realistic discussions going on, the real talk, the real, excuse me, issues being, you know, talked about, because a lot of the issues are sensitive, difficult, and quite frankly, what people don't want to hear or talk about. But it's really good to hear it. And I just want to say that it is enlightening that probably younger, you've been, you have a history, all of you have a history of trying to make change. And I hope that in the years to come that more people do add to your team to really help forge ahead to make changes. It's going to be a difficult road, which you all know, and it's just great to be able to sort of witness some of it. I know it's just a small part, but you know, hopefully, maybe within your own areas, you'll see some change. But I just want to say thank you for the discussions and the dialogue. And when the new year comes for you, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Man.
Take care.
Thank you, poetic. That's what's up. First of all, thank you for the dope ass, the great New Year's salutations coming from the UK. I have to say, you are my first international. Happy New Year. So that's what's up. I can put that on the checklist. And I appreciate the love and the support showing the panel. You're right. I'm on here with great people. I go back with these two, man. Nundy and I Black. And what we're really doing here is just really having one of the discussions we usually have on the phone. This is why I appreciate Nundy turning me on to this whole thing, because it is an opportunity to share some of our thoughts. But unlike the conversations we all three may have on the phone, here I get the feedback, which I absolutely love. So I appreciate you jumping on the panel with us. But what do you think about some of the things going on, this whole man's fear, women's fear? And are you guys going through that in the UK? Is there a black man hatred movement in the UK going on?
Can I be really honest? I mean,
Yeah,
there is a
please.
little bit, but nothing that is going on like on YouTube. I mean, I could say a lot here, but I could say a lot, but there is inklings. There's maybe some of the maybe more impressionable young people who are jumping on the bandwagon, and maybe a few silly older ones who should know better, but they're mainly doing it via the YouTube. In day-to-day life, hardly any of this. Hardly any of this. Yes, there is a lot of we have a lot of interracial relationships in the UK, as you're probably aware of, but that's been going on for a long time. But we still do have quite a good core number of Black love, Black relationships. This is one of the things that I think is not recognized, it's ignored, but we still do have communities where we have Black couples, whether they're elderly, mature, or young Black couples. Now, the pockets where there are, I would say, what you see on YouTube now is, I've got to say, it's coming from areas that are poor areas that need regeneration. I mean, I particularly know, I'm not surprised by one particular person who's actually involved in all this. I'm from the UK, I know it very well, and I sort of expected what's going on. So I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all. We have some areas in the UK that are very well off, very affluent. And also, like everywhere else, we have areas where we have troubled neighborhoods. And from there are a lot of people who have had relationships, failed relationships. And what you're seeing now, I've got to say, are a lot of UK people, not a lot, well, some UK people who are just simply jumping on the bandwagon and digging themselves, getting involved in the American YouTube part that has become quite toxic. But I'll tell you something now, if they were to just switch that off and return to their real lives, it's nothing like what you're having probably that you have in the UK. But, you know, that it's like, this is what is really quite infuriating, because I know a lot of this is being blown out of proportion, particularly from certain individuals. And with what I've seen lately, if it wasn't for the fact that I know exactly what's going on from certain individuals, you know, I would find it quite funny. But to be truthful, a lot of it is quite embarrassing, because UK has nothing like the scale of problematic relationships that you're having in America. And that is what is quite disappointing, that is coming out in some of the behavior that I'm seeing. So that's my take on it. I could say more, but I'll leave it on like that. That's my take on it.
Now, let me ask this: how many generations of UKian are you? Is that a word, UKian? What would you call you guys? How many how many generations are you from there, or are your parents?
You mean from the Caribbean?
Okay, so your people are from, How many
Africa.
How many
Well,
generations
we're
are you
like
moved from the Caribbean?
we are, most of the Black people in the UK are like, what are they, third generations, third generations, yes, third generations. Okay. Which is why,
because at one point in time, I think you guys' problems was more with like foreigners. I think what white UK people were having a problem with, like the foreigners or something, the Africans.
yes,
and
exactly, because when the Caribbeans went over to the UK,
Uh-oh, poetic.
Yeah.
But
Can
the
you hear
main
me, brother Yanga? Oh, go ahead.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
You may have to go back to the beginning. We lost you for a minute. You were saying when the
Oh,
Caribbeans came,
okay.
and
When the
yeah, I can hear you so, brother.
all
All right.
right. Okay, when the Caribbeans came in the 50s and the 60s, yes, they did face, a lot of hostility from the white people here. But what's recently been happening, yes, you're right. With the Brexit, even before the Brexit, a lot of the issues primarily were between white people and Asian people, and also with the white people and the immigrants who were coming in from Europe, from Poland and blah blah blah. That was a quite a big issue. And why that was quite interesting to follow was because really what they wanted to do, the government, they thought they were being smart. They were trying to get cheap labor from Europe to try in a way replace black labor, but it didn't work. It did not work. And so what we've had now is like a lot of the Polish people in particular, they were returning in like the hundreds of thousands back to their homeland. And what we've got a situation now where even on the register, the UK government has no idea how many have been left in the UK, where there are nothing, right? To be fair as well, though, I would say this. A lot of the Polish people were hard workers. They set up their shops and they had their businesses and they were hard workers. But they weren't very sort of integrating into white society as we know it. And this is one of the issues I think that white people had with them in the UK. So what they thought would solve the problem, or the immigration problem, so to speak, would be to get rid of them, would be to send them all back home. But funnily enough, now look what's happened now. They now need that labour back to fill the jobs, because nobody in the UK wants to fill these jobs. So it's quite a bit of a mess here. We have jobs that need to be filled. Nobody wants to do it here. The young ones are not interested in taking on these jobs because they want to have the really big hourly rates, the big jobs. So it's all quite messy. So yeah, the core thing that I went through for a few years, even before I went overseas, was the white people with the immigrants from from Europe. That was one of the big ongoing, in fact, it's not finalized actually in the EU, but that was one of the main problems. So the agendas for the black people came lower and lower down the list. However, what black people have managed to do and what they're very good at is adapting. But unfortunately, it's meant that there's been more assimilation into the white society, and I always talk about this, than there has been in coming together to try and have, I won't say separate, but more of our own communities. We have pockets of communities in the UK, but what would have been great would have been have large areas which were just designed for us. And Asians have been successful in doing this. If you go to areas like, some parts of London, maybe some parts of the north, like in Bradford, they have concentrated, densely populated areas of Asians, and they have their own communities, their own shops, their own businesses. It's you feel like you're overseas when you go there. It's not the ideal place to live. But when you see it, you can see that they're self-sufficient. Anything they want, they get from each other. They buy from each other. They sell to each other. They've been very good at that. But the environment that they live in, they've got that bit of laissez-faire attitude. But the core things, the schools, the homeschooling, the businesses, those core elements, they just carry on as if they weren't in the UK. They do their Ramadan. They don't pay attention to any of they were bad during COVID. They, they didn't put the mask on, nothing, blah, blah, blah. But what the point is, they are relying on each other. That is their community. They're not going out of their community to get this, to get that, to buy this, maybe for the odd things, but they're more concentrated within their communities. And that would have been good to see more from the Afro-Caribbean or the Black people generally in the UK. This is why I keep saying America, it's running out of time in terms of, if you really want to segregate, you have to start now. And I won't say anymore because I know there's ears and blah, 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 looking at this platform, but you have to start now, because otherwise you are just going to be like the UK. Does that make sense? You're just going to be assimilated into white society. You won't have anything really to call your own. And it'll be over, because you'll be getting older and older and older. And there'll be more people not wanting to get involved, make changes. You know, does that make sense? You have to make a plan, start. You must start now. Because the thing about the Caribbeans, though, and it's often talked about, is that, yes, we do have, how should I say, you would say a safety net, if you like. Because, you know, many have brought homes in the Caribbeans. They have close relationships with their families in the Caribbean, or even in Africa, if they've traced back their ancestry. But we have very, very, very close ties with, the Caribbean. But I mean, this is why I say it's going to be a hard battle. But I mean, how do you see things? Do you think you'll be able to make inroads into having more of a concentrated environments where you're all relying on each other, or is it really just a pipe dream?
No, I think that it can. The fact that they passed a civil rights bill shows me the very how close to independence, to the fruition of independence we have become. I think people like Malcolm X, the development of the Black Panther Party, there again are a testament to how close to independence we can come as a people, and our ability to practice self-determination. What we have happening in our country, though, is revisionism, the rewriting of history, and a certain ideology being propagated over the ideology of revolution, liberation, and independence. But I don't think, the thing I would say where I would have to disagree with you is when you say get started. We've already been in that process. It is a lot more difficult in America because America is the seat of imperialism. America is the seat of imperialism. If we shake America, like we do when we shake world policies. What did they say about Malcolm when they said Malcolm set the foreign policy of America back 40 years on, I forget how many months he was over there, just on that little trip. If we really begin to establish relations with independent African nations, or those groups in African nations, and our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean who are freedom-loving people, establish some type of real rapport, real relationship with them, I think that would further our struggle. One of our problems with that, though, in that is a lot of times with us being a people who are devoid of culture, who are wanting for some type of identity, that when we go start dealing with our other brothers and sisters internationally, we end up becoming our damn brothers and sisters. Send a brother to Jamaica to learn some damn warfare, nigga, come back Jamaican.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I think what I meant by started, I think maybe that was maybe not the best word, but I was thinking of maybe visually, maybe, because I know people are frustrated, aren't they? They want to want to see change. So I think maybe what I'm trying to say is, because once the wheels start turning and people sort of like maybe start visually seeing change, then the impetus keeps going and going and going. I think that's what I meant. But I know, I just, like I say, I just find this really exhilarating. It's so good to have this conversation. But I do have to go now, actually, because I have some celebrations.
Absolutely. Happy New Year. Give the brothers and sisters in the UK the Happy New Year salutation.
Sorry?
I was saying, tell the brothers and sisters over there, man, Happy New Year's from across the pond.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're still on, I will come back, but I'm sure, I don't know what time is it over there, but you know, thank you, Sister Nandi, Blackson, Younger, really enjoying
No
it,
doubt.
and just sort of like really enjoying the dialogue, and just Happy New Year anyway. Take care,
All right,
guys.
thank you again. You
You're
also.
welcome. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, great conversation. But I mean, some good, excellent points. You know, and this is why I love having the sister on. Was super cool because we got to look at and hear from an international perspective of our struggle, our plight, and how our activity in winning, fighting for our liberation is perceived across the ponds. I love that thing. I'm always trying to encourage Nundy to do exposés. I don't know why, because I grit my teeth when she does them. I'll be like, oh my God, she's going too goddamn hard. But I'm always telling her, yo, you need to expose this shit. And those conversations like Poetic Empress is one of the reasons why, because America is pushing and promoting our fucking buffer zone Negroes. They're pushing and promoting our accommodationist, our conceding ass Negroes, and that conceding ass movement of assimilation known as civil rights. That's what's pushed to the world. Like we little nigglets, pickaninnies. No, master, let us vote. Master, let us be a part. Yeehaw, yeehaw. We just like we to the world, like we celebrating. And the real revolutionaries out there, the Hueys, the Malcolms, you know, the brothers and sisters that are still behind enemy lines in their prisons that fought for complete and total liberation and independence, are being criminalized, put out there like they just fucking mere thugs, criminals. Like I've said before, shit, Nelson Mandela came home, he the fucking president of a country. This is what happens when you elevate your struggle to international struggle. When you get the world involved in this.
And how was that possible?
A lot of, to get into details. Now to get into details, let me make two parts. The first part I was making was having the world get involved in your struggle. Now about this Negro, this buffer zone Negro, Nelson Mandela, this bootlegger here, how he came to power. That's a whole nother motherfucking issue. That's what we have to be the dangers of when you, yes, make our struggle international, but watch the motherfuckers they let be your international leader. They just gave South Africa international Dr. King. You know, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to let Nundy do the expose. None, I'll be telling you, you need to do exposes on these leaders.
It's coming. Trust, it's coming.
Right? So I think when you, and the reason that's necessary to go back to, like I said, is because in order to get an accurate history, in order to get a good measure of where we're trying to go, we have to have the data that we're putting in needs to be as pure as possible. You scientists out there know about that, contaminated data, tainted data, and all that shit. If they telling you a motherfucker could fly, like you heard me say before, when you find out your dog is a cat, if they can tell you the motherfucker can fly, see through walls, got x-ray vision, can catch bullet with his teeth, run faster than a locomotive, you're going to be expecting these things. You're going to add that into your equation. And then when shit hits the fan and you're looking for Mighty Man, Mighty Mouse, show the fuck up. You said, well, motherfucker, they told me you could do A, B, C, D, and F, G. So in order to get an accurate
Brother
perspective of where we're trying to go, like the revolutionary does, the revolutionary must have accurate data. What's up, soul brother? You was gonna say something?
Yeah. I want to know what, speaking of that question that was posed earlier, if we had the choice to go to another country, I was thinking, because like I said, I have been doing some research about going to other countries, but what is your view on those so-called Black Americans who have left here and went across the world as expats and have repatriated to other countries? Because I've been in the recent past watching their platforms. Can you expand on that? Because they always talking about what kind of different freedoms they have as opposed to when they was here in America. Could I usually don't hear brothers and sisters commenting on them too much. And I just want to hear your perspective.
Okay,
Like
you know
brothers
what?
and sisters.
Yeah, I'll go last. If anybody wanted to say anything, I've been on here running my mouth. I'll allow one of the other panelists to say something.
In regards to that. I mean, even
Yeah.
you could respond to that if you want to. It don't matter.
Okay. I'll give, Son Anandi an opportunity
Okay.
to respond. Any of you guys want to respond? No. Okay. Yeah. So I'll respond.
I was on mute. Wow, you said a lot. Can you sum it up in like a two-part question, Brother Talib?
Okay. I was saying that it was a question posed earlier on this panel from someone in the chat room. If we had a choice, what country would we go to if we could leave America? And then I was, asked, and, I was telling the brother how I've been, researching different countries that I possibly might want to choose to go to one day if I could. And so, I was asking the brother, what is coming from y'all brothers and sisters with y'all type of mentality? What is y'all way of viewing those Black expats who have left the United States? They never come here because of what's going on with our people and our condition here. And those who have left here and have started lives in different other countries.
I guess I'm going to say this. My personal opinion, I don't agree with that. I mean, to each his own. We've got to fight right here where we are. And a lot of these people are starting to realize as well that are going to other countries is that culture, laws, a lot of things are totally different. We are not as welcome as they thought we were. They're experiencing a lot of things from kidnappings to being held hostage. It's so many different things that we have to look into. So just because we hear, we give free land away, or we can plant gardens for free. But free for who? Is it just culturally for they people? Are they telling they people to come back to where they are? So in my opinion, I feel like we got to fight here. And I don't agree with, going to another country, especially when some of their laws and situations are more oppressive, than the United States of America.
Because I've heard thousands of our people have went to other countries, even to places like Japan and Korea and Vietnam. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. But go ahead, sister. Excuse me for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying hello to Jasmine and congratulations, sis. Welcome to the league. I saw your interview.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, hi.
Great.
Thank you.
Great interview, just me. And yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the league, man. That was awesome interview. Shouts out to SVDL too, by the way, and all the debaters, man. Big shouts out. Argument League, Schwab, them over there. Y'all be doing y'all thug fizzle. But yeah, just me. I can't wait to see you doing your thing.
Thank you. I don't know. I know some people said it was a bit off, but I attempted. Um, I will let you guys know that I already have a debate coming, though.
Good deal. Who and what?
It's supposed to be on if the women from Black Panther are seen as feminine. and it's supposed to be against Lance. I don't really know him, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
All right. Have you seen the movie?
The when you say Black Panther, you're talking about Marvel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, I have seen the movie.
Okay. Yeah, so you know what? I should have clarified that. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot. Y'all are part of the organization. That would make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I would
Man,
say I just Oh,
that's
go
going to
ahead.
be an interesting debate.
Gotcha. I would say I hope to see you guys over there. I wanted to see you for the interview, but I couldn't find either of you. I know Nandi's been off for some days too. So
Yeah, I've had man, I've had a crazy family drama. I've had to postpone my debate and push it back. I've had a family emergency, uh, man, that I don't wish on anyone. So we'll see how that. But I plan on being back soon, and I'm so looking forward to getting in there and debating.
I gotcha.
And
Hey,
I've
look,
just been a little bit under the weather, but I watched your interview.
gotcha.
I
Oh,
work
I
on
was
that how my sister. So I just fell back and watched the interview, and you did great.
well, thank you. I was expecting a hound from you. Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't gonna do that to you, sis. You was doing great by yourself. You was already holding it down, especially with two brothers on the panel. So, actually three brothers solar. So, I'm like, sis, how she can handle her business. So, I think you did great standing on your own.
Well, thank
Okay,
you.
that's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what's up. So
Uh,
you've been hearing some of what we've been going in it on here about. We're basically just talking about a little bit of 2021 major, like any major news articles and that type of stuff. But it led to what we were talking about, just the manosphere and womansphere, and this whole thing, and this alleged gender wars and everything that's going on with that. And I am
mhm.
so curious to hear your take and perspective.
I mean, my perspective really didn't change on it by much. I would say when it comes to the woman sphere, I understand where the anger is coming from, but at the same time, I don't think they're handling it well. To me, it just comes across as a giant, I guess, like call for attention. Um,
Mhm.
because when I was watching, of course, like when I was watching this like 9 years ago, there were a lot more supposedly pro-black women on this sector of YouTube. And it's just funny that they kind of just switched over to swirling and divesting and all this stuff now,
Mhm.
because these camps weren't nearly as big as what they are right now. But I'm not gonna lie to you, here, like maybe it's because I'm in the South. I'll see interracial couples and everything, but it's not like I can tell the difference between what a divester looks like in real life as opposed to someone who just dates out anyway. I'm not seeing these
Right.
groups. Yeah, I'm about to say I'm not. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing.
Gotcha. But yeah, I'm not seeing these vast amount of black women that are just like dating out. In fact, if I'm with one of my Asian male friends or something, if we're walking together, we still get stared at like it's crazy. So I don't know where this whole it's being normalized is coming from, because it hasn't hit the South then. Um, not my state.
Okay, I heard that. My whole thing is not even, I mean, I may have my personal opinion about dating outside the race. Yeah, okay, that's my personal opinion. Where I become vocal, and I think, not even just vocal, sometimes even outspoken, is when it turns into not just denigration, but the advocating of destruction of black life, especially black male life, which I happen to belong to that particular group of human. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand the need to go there. And I think, you know what, and not to be there, because I do remember you and I having this conversation before. As I say these things, I'm like, oh yeah, I did have this
You're
before
fine.
with just me. But I guess it baffles the mind. Where does this self-hatred, where does this, and I've only come to the conclusion that they have to hate black itself. It's more than just dating out of their race. It's like you have to, is dating outside of their race an attempt to eradicate blackness? It's that type of thing for me. I'm like, damn.
I mean, well, I feel like this because I don't, surprisingly, I don't feel like it's a thing to eradicate the race, as in like they're not processing it as that. Um, I think this is a thing where I'm so blinded by just sheer hatred at this point that I want to get rid of the men, not seeing that the future women are not going to be looking like me. We're going to be the last generation, um,
Mm.
if they get what they want. And I don't know, because if you look at Cynthia's talking points at first, she started off by saying men aren't worth anything, like black men aren't worth anything, and all that stuff. Then it progressed from that to, oh, well, all they do is shoot the sperm. And it's like, well, the sperm activates the egg. You need the sperm. I don't know what you're talking about. And then it came to this whole thing of we don't need the men for what was it, for birth and all this stuff, because we do everything else. And it's like you can't do anything without a sperm. This is basic science.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think I took the time to actually like measure out all of the periods I've had, and it's like, honey, I've had over 150 periods since I've been alive. No baby. No
Yeah.
baby. Not one. So what's going on? Where's this mystical baby supposed to come from?
So
I'm missing
when did it
something.
become race specific though? Like I understand the whole movement. I understand equity or equality, and I am one against, any type of gender superiority. But when did it become race specific? When did it become black men are the problem?
You mean in this whole movement, or you mean in
Yeah.
regards to Cynthia? Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the whole movement.
Okay, so we gotta go like probably, shoot, we're going probably about 11, 12 years back right now. Um, this is gonna be when Chrislyn first starts like her channel and everything, and she switched over to swirling at first. Now, I came on the scene, and at first, again, I thought this was something where it's like, oh, they just want to date out, they just want to be happy and all that stuff. Cool, you know.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, that's fine. And then people started attacking them like left and right. And I was like, leave these women alone, because I literally just thought they just wanted to date out. And it started out like that. Then it shifted. Crystalline started adding in all these subliminals about black men being less than other races of men. And I was just like, something's happening, because they went from we just want to date out to we need to date out. Black men are horrible and all stuff. And it just kind of switched. And I was just like, is anyone catching this switch? Because I know she put in this, she made this video one time, and it was just like, why black women are more feminine with other races of men. And it's like, that's a subliminal. Or actually, she didn't say with other races of men, she said with white men. And I was like, why didn't you put with other races of men? That's the least you could have done. And when I tell you that I had like all these swirlers come at me and they attacked me, I was like, I've outgrown this channel. I'm good. So I left after that. After that, it became this man hating thing. You know, there was this dude named Angel Ramirez Jordan. Even he got hate, and he didn't even expect to get hate because he's like actually biracial. But they just hated the black side of him, and they told him, I don't even want to half black. So it's just like it went from okay, I just want to date out to I hate black men, period.
Mm.
But she started that entire thing from what I saw. And that's why when Nandi talks about her and it's like this poor girl, Nandi, she is not that poor girl. She started this entire thing. She tried to go up against Cynthia because Cynthia got more subscribers than her, because she got jealous that Cynthia was getting more attention from other races of men than she did. So she tried to strike back. It backfired. Then she did the whole suicidal thing. I have been watching that lady for years, and when I tell you she has bullied multiple people on
Wow.
this
See, I just
platform,
came in when she started talking about suicide. I didn't know about all of that. So.
No, you're fine. And I know, and also, I've been trying to tell you for a while. It's like, please stop defending that woman. Please stop defending that woman because it's sad to say, but she does deserve what she gets because of what she's done to other people. She has
Mm.
doxed other people. She is such a snake. And it's like other people have been attacked because of her. She set up people to get like ambushed on YouTube and all types of stuff. Let her go. Like I've been
Wow.
watching this 43. No, she's not
Hey,
43. I'm
brother
sorry. That'd be
Yanga, I'm a
hmm? But no, I've been watching like this 50-year-old woman play YouTube for practically a decade at this point. So no, I used to have her followers come to my channel when I would talk about her stuff, and they used to attack me. That lady ain't nothing innocent.
Wow. I did not know. Right.
Wow. That's crazy, you know. But there again, you know, like I said, it doesn't surprise me. If the black man isn't good for anything, with all of this condemning and bashing of the black man is good for a paycheck. Everybody eats off of the black man, eats off the black man's flesh. And when I say black man, sometimes I'm also meaning synonymous with black women and black child, black people. But right now I'm talking to black man because this is just clearly, I mean, if it's a man thing, it's a man thing. You know, when you begin to point out the so-called deficiencies, if you're dating outside your race, it's a dating outside your race thing. But when you begin to point out the so-called deficiencies of black men, the reasons why you should date outside your race because a so-called whatever lack of, there again, like I said, deficiency in black men, man, that's just eating off the misery of black people.
I mean, I'll say it this way because once again, my group does not do this. It's come down to if you needed a woman online to tell you to date out, you were never supposed to in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Because it's like I haven't met one alt who was just like, I mean, I liked black men, but then this woman online told me that I shouldn't date them because they're dusties. So I changed my entire prerogative on them. No alternative speaks like that. It's always, well, when I was younger, I used to like white guys, or when I was younger, I used to like Asian guys, or whatever. It's always this, I knew from a child. It's always that. We always have the experiences. Like, if you didn't know right off the back, then you had an experience as a child, and it's just like I just gravitated towards them after that. So it's natural.
Yeah. You make it sound like a condition. I knew as a child I had it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's something that you just kind of know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, you know, yeah, it's reinforced by society. When I was growing up, the most beautiful women I was taught were white women. That was the standard of beauty. And the closer to white, light complected, they used to call straight hair, good hair, you know, all of these things. So I do understand that. I think it has to be, especially with dating inside the race, black dating, it is a lot more difficult.
Hey, Yanka, like that brother in that Most Def song years ago said, it's called conditioning.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. I mean, so here's the thing, because I guess we'll bring up my so-called conditioning then. When did society say that Asian men were great or amazing in Western society?
When Bruce Lee hit the scene.
I didn't see Bruce Lee when I was little, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. I see what you didn't pick. I mean, your attraction probably wasn't the best of society, and I'm not even saying that society said, you know, this is better for you. I'm not even saying your attraction isn't a natural attraction. What I am saying is it takes work to, you know, find and work within the black community, within your race, to create a black family. It takes work. Everything down from not just not having historically strong examples of black society, but even the standards of beauty. Asians, I know Asian women were considered, please sisters, y'all forgive me, it wasn't me, but Asian women were more considered more beautiful than black women. I'm just gonna keep it real. And I know sometimes Asian men were because I have my eyes are kind of slanted. And I've been told, oh, you got, you know, you got cheek eyes. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut out for a bit. I didn't hear what you said. What was that? I'm sorry.
Okay. We were talking about the beauty thing, right?
I know the last thing you said was you were talking about how it took more work. I think you said within the
Oh yeah,
community
I
or
think
something.
I think it takes a lot more work to work on to have black on black relationships. Everything from not having a lot of historic examples of what black family looks like, you know, with our own particular dramas and phenomena and shit, and also down to beauty. Like when I was coming up and I said no disrespect, you gonna make me repeat it again, huh? Sisters, no no disrespect, but when I was coming up, I was taught consciously sometimes and more times than not subliminally or subconsciously that Asian women look better than black women.
But where the hell was the Asians before 1982?
I don't. I must say, if
Well,
you're referring
were
to
they?
me, I wasn't on the scene till
All
1994.
of these different nationalities was meant for us today. Why the hell it took Ronald Reagan to bring them here? Where were they beforehand?
They weren't the Asians. They weren't on the scene largely. They hadn't developed a large economic and political power. But the Asians have always been in America. Them motherfuckers helped build the railroads.
Yeah, but I think they were getting the
But
press
they have
too.
always been
They were
separate.
getting shitted on.
They have always been separate as well, though, like they are
They
today.
what?
They have always practiced separatism like they do today.
That's true.
Less than 5% of Asians.
Yeah.
5% of Asians marry or even date outside their race.
I mean, and that is true, but I can say this as as people just globally, the people who date out is going to be a minority. That's how you keep the races going. It's not supposed to be a lot of people dating out anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you look at every group, notice how when you have those people who date out interracially, it's going to be smaller because they have to be the minority to keep the other races going. Like the issues that I have with the swirlers is that you can tell that a lot of them are actually still pretty much into black men, but they're doing this because they're mad at the experiences that they had. So they're telling other women who haven't even had these experiences that you don't need to get with a black man. It's like just because you picked wrong doesn't mean that she will.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be just dead honest about it. Because I mean, if you have your own experiences and all that, then fine, that's one thing. But don't sit there and act as though you did not play a part in this stuff. And I think that's my problem with them, and that's why they don't like me.
Hey, sister,
I just want to.
I was gonna ask you a question, Sister Nandy, for you go on. Being that said, do you think that result from Caucasians programming or the soul sisters going back to slavery that the soul black man wasn't nothing, or let alone even a human? Do you think it come from that? Is why sisters are doing that type of stuff now?
Like Brother Younger said, that's one of the things. It plays a role in that. You know, like he said, when they psychologically tell you that the light bright white is better, they look better.
Yeah.
It starts to, you know, put stereotyping in a person's mind that if I look like that or I put myself in this position, you know, then I'll be accepted too, like you stated. And mostly light complected women, if you look at them, like women who wear extensions or wigs and stuff. It's more of the light complected women that wears blonde wigs and They put on different color hair, the punk rock stylish. You know, some of our dark sisters have taken that on now, but in the beginning, it was more the light complected sisters because they looked more white. The content wearing. So, like he said, that plays a role in the stereotyping. But see, the biggest problem that I have, and it's like just me saying, when you got over 100,000 followers, then you got over almost 1 million followers. You had 900 and something thousand followers that's listening to this. On top of that, you know, some of these people believe in killing the black baby, the black little boy.
Yeah, that's a
They're killing the black man,
damn.
and they should become extinct. Is the issue that I have. If you want to swirl and be a lollipop, that's your business. But to put that out there and agree when you got 900 and something thousand women agreeing that killing a black boy in the womb or killing black men
That's crazy.
is what we should be doing in order to get rid of the dusties that's in our community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like just to those women who agree with that stance, it's kind of like you're the same women that encourage the dusty behavior on both sides, though. So I'm just saying, from what I've seen, it's like y'all are the same ones who like guys like that. Because if you, and I'm not talking about like the nerdy black guys or anything, but when it comes to other guys who are not like, they don't have that swag and everything, y'all don't pay a lot of attention to them. But I can say as a woman, that is something that goes both ways. I've seen both genders do that. But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it's just kind of based on, again, hatred. And then we kind of want the attention from these men because, once again, I have to say this. If you have all these options, how are you giving black men this much attention? Do you really have options?
Mm-hmm. That's
'Cause
what
it's
makes
like
you. That's
Go
what
ahead.
makes me question the sincerity of what they're doing. Like, why are you paying so much attention to making sure you go out of your way to belittle black men?
Because honestly, I just feel like they're doing that to get your attention at the end of the day. Because they tried the pro-black thing, it didn't work. They tried the swirling thing, it kind of worked. We did the let's hate black men thing, and it got a little bit better. I get a little bit more of your attention. Now, you know what? Let's kill black babies. Now I have your attention. I have never seen men so riled up before since the swirling thing began.
Well, my
Like
question
they can't keep this point out. But go ahead.
but I mean, it seems like they want the wrong type of attention because I always ask the question, a person, whatever it is, religion, relationship, what is your end game? So it seems like this is a negative approach to trying to get one's attention. So I'm like, if you come with a negative approach, the outcome is going to be negative. It's not going to end well.
Do they know that, or do they think that any attention is good attention?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, Poetic Empress. Um, I mean, wow. That's yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just a sure case of black hatred.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna have to
mean,
agree with
we
Dan
have
on
to
that.
be careful of people hijacking our movement.
I
And
want to.
black hatred is really something that existed or that exists. Listen, prime examples. I don't know if you guys are movie watchers, but I'm a movie watcher. I can give you two movies that are great examples of black hatred. One of them is A Soldier Story with Denzel in it,
Oh yeah, good one.
and the sergeant. The day of the Geechee is dead. That nigga,
Yeah.
the little nasty sergeant, and the other one is Boys in the Hood with the black police officer.
Is that the new one?
Boys in the Hood.
I might be thinking about something else.
Oh man, I'm so old. Here, let me
Yeah,
give
we
you
both.
let me give you one that may be more. Uncle Ruckus, I
Yeah,
think is
Boondocks.
probably the best. My Uncle Ruckus and my boy from the Django.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Django. Those are the modern day nigger haters.
But you
Black people hate. They're niggers, but they are black people haters. They don't want us, huh?
I'm sorry, Brother Young. Go ahead.
No, that's basically about it. They will find any and every reason to put down a black person.
Well, see, I would say this. I look at a situation as this. Is it black hating or a bunch of scorned ass women? Because see, majority of
I gotta say black hating. And the only reason I say that because lately I've seen some of these Negroes running behind them. Black men champion that shit. So what's his damn problem? Except for he got to be a black hater.
Who you just say, Younger?
That's a good point. I can't argue. I can't say nothing about that.
Who you just say, Younger?
What the hell this nigga running behind? She's talking about your black ass knucklehead. Dumb.
Who you talking about, Younger?
The Negroes that run behind these women?
Oh, just okay.
I'm throwing it out there in general.
Oh, in general,
happen across my channel.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he happens across my channel and that word hits him in the head like a brick. Boop.
I'm so
idiot.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. How are you champion? That shit. Have you forgotten you're black? Oh, you hate being black.
You're right.
You hate being black. You line niggas up. Give me the goddamn gun, boss. Tell them about the gun line, boss. Tell them about the gun line. Give me the gun. Shit.
That's true. It's a lot of them out here.
I know. I'm scared of what was that Negro's name in life? What was his name? Bob Fetching Bob or something. What was his name? Fetching Bob or some shit.
What movie did he play in?
Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Oh, this new generation. That's
okay. Yeah, that prison movie that they was in. Okay.
Yeah. He was the prison. He was a Negro.
Yeah.
That was a prisoner, but was made a trustee. Had a rifle and every damn thing.
You talking about my man that said you want your cornbread?
No, that's the movie, but that's not the dude.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I said that to say you actually have black people who despise the skin that they are in. And I'm wondering what motivates these men to run behind and champion and defend women who are talking about them specifically.
Exactly, because I think that, I mean, this whole rhetoric, it's run its course, but now what they're trying to do is refuel it. And it's a shame because, like I said before, there are wrongs on both sides. But it seems that each side is trying to control each other, which is just not going to work.
Right.
But for me, seeing it from the women's side, as a woman, seeing it from that side, this is quite disturbing. And there are things that are going to happen, which, I mean, they think they're making all this noise, all this racket, rah. If you don't pay them any attention, eventually this will die down, which is what they don't want. So this is why it's been done this way. All this, now we have nearly 3 channels that have, I don't know, 2 or 3 channels, but it's like the more attention you give it, the more they will soak it up and keep this nonsense going. It's as simple as that. But the thing is, some of these divestors, and I know 1 or 2 of them, it's so fake. Some of them have black boyfriends. One has a black husband. What is going on? This is all a money game. Surely you see that this is all a money game. It's all about the money. And as someone from the UK as well, as I said before, someone is playing a game. Someone is playing a very dangerous game, and it's just inflaming an already delicate situation. So, I mean, in the UK, we have mixed couples, like I said, and there's definitely a lot of self-hate there as well. But because I'm from the UK, I can see through certain things and see how, certain individuals behave because I'm from the UK. Same as you, how you would see an American, you'd know how they move, how to understand certain things. Well, I am the same with other UK people. So to be honest, it's very disappointing is what's going on. And it's a lot of gameplay, a lot of self-hatred, and a lot of manipulation. That's exactly what's going on at the moment. And I hope you all see that. You do see that, don't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I think when Nundy began to explain to me how the YouTube actually works, and how these guys are, with the likes and the subscriptions, it began to explain the sensational rhetoric, all this over the top talk. So let me ask this question though. You were saying that you can. So is this Cynthia G from the UK? Is this where this crazy philosophy or ideology? Is this where
No,
that's
I'm not even talking
in the
about them.
United
I'm not
Kingdom?
talking about no, I'm not even talking about them, although she is a part of it. But I saw
Oh,
something come in from a long time ago, but I kept quiet. And now what I thought was going to happen has happened. So it's no surprise to me. What I was hoping was that maybe the Americans could see certain things, but you haven't. But it's life. But things have happened which I thought this is going to happen, and it has. And now a big game is being played, and this is where we are. And I'm speaking from a UK perspective, and that's all I will say.
well, I'm gonna tell you, us over in America, it's unfortunate, but we're used to it. We're used to the gender war. We're used to them trying to divide us from our women. This is nothing new. They did it back when I was coming up. I remember we were unfortunate enough, my mother being the black sheep of the family, doing her own thing, we were unfortunate enough to get caught up in the state and the state welfare system. And in order to get something from the state, you couldn't have a black man. My mother had a black boyfriend. I used to see a grown black man run from a little white lady to come do house inspections. So they had been starting the demasculization of the black male. To get certain shit, you can't deal with a black man. It has always been discouragement from black family, all the way back to slavery. Hell, this pathology that we're displaying, it was introduced through Buckism for, sending us to one plantation to another. We begin to grow an emotional callous to fatherhood. We grew an emotional callous. We make babies, move the fuck on. Not saying that it's right. I'm saying if we're going to assess a problem, if you're going to be a real doctor, if you're going to be a real sociologist, if you're going to be a real relationship expert, then we must know everything that goes into the symptoms. What you're describing when you talk about the plight of the black male and what are symptoms. What's the bigger disease? Where does this come from? When we look at the symptoms of diabetes, we go to looking at, well, where's this come from? What's your diet? What's your intake?
You tell him, Yanga.
But am I saying it right, son?
You're saying it absolutely right, brother. Tell him.
So, what is the social intake?
Hey, you guys.
These are symptoms.
But I got to drop off. I appreciate the panel.
All right, peace, sister Nandy.
Get well now.
I'll see you on your next live.
Nandy, stay away from the meat, dairy, and eggs while you're under the weather.
I appreciate it.
Lots of fluids. Take it easy.
I'm not putting you out there, but I know it's going to sound like Baby Beirut around your area.
Yeah, you already know.
You already know.
That's why I get down a little early.
Afghanistan. Tell all my brothers. Tell them I said peace. Send my peace, Nunny.
I sure will. Thank you, everybody on the panel, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Thank you,
See
Nana.
ya.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. I'll say this part and I'll drop down as well. I gotta go meet up with my church tonight. But basically, long story short, if you want to understand the divestors better and all this stuff, just study cult mindsets and behaviors, and that should point you in the right direction.
Wow.
But
Damn, we're gonna end on that note, huh? That's a heavy.
That
Boom.
was heavy.
Somebody drop a bomb and damn. Okay.
Happy New
Appreciate
Year.
it. Thank you. Same
You're
to
welcome.
you.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Peace. Yo, that's what's up. And
Hey,
and
Yanga.
everybody's doing the right thing. I think,
Oh,
huh?
I still needed you or Black Son to answer that question that I posed earlier.
About the
About moving to another country.
Yeah, and about what are y'all views about them expatriate, the blacks who leave here and go to other countries,
Yeah.
and
So
how they talk about how their experiences is over there
right.
as compared to what it was here in America.
Well, first thing, you mind if I go first, Inga?
please.
Okay. So the first thing, Brother Talib, is a lot of those Americans don't understand simple things. Yanga, do you remember that sister that went to Nigeria? I forgot her name. She didn't even know the politics of her own country.
Oh yeah, that they deported back.
Yeah, they
Tunde,
deported her
wasn't her
back.
name Tunde or something?
Tunde. So I say that to say this. People don't even know the labor laws of other countries because other countries don't even have labor laws. That's the first thing. Like if anybody here go on a job and that job don't pay you, we got like avenues we can go to get our money. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
In these foreign countries, that's a no-go. You work at a factory, you work at whatever job, and they don't want to pay you, that's it. They just don't pay you. That's why people come over here in droves because we have laws protecting that. So that's all I got to say. So that, yeah, people don't even look at the labor laws because the first thing that people look at is the first thing I look at is the economy of that country. You know, how is it going to benefit me? And what if I go on this person's job and they don't pay me? If they don't, a lot of these countries, they don't have to pay you.
So you just gonna be working like a Hebrew slave.
Pretty much.
Can I add something?
Oh, man.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
It's from the perspective of having worked with, American expats when I've been working overseas. There's one thing that interested me. It was the fact that, research is very, very important. Very, very important. I would say that adaptability is an important thing as well. I think, and it all comes back to the research, absolutely, Blackson, because that all relates to everything else that can fall apart. From what I've seen, though, is that when I've worked in when I was in Africa and when I was in the Middle East, Americans tended, not all, but some seem to have different expectations from what actually materialized in terms of their job contract,
Yes.
in terms of what was part of the package, of the contract. And it was usually down to not just only reading the fine print of what they've signed for their contract and paying attention to the details, but I think generally some were just escaping America rather than looking at, if it was for work, it seemed to be that they wanted to make that their new home. But instead of sort of like taking it one stage at a time, getting used to the job, the culture, blah, 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 it seemed like they wanted everything to change all at once. Now they've got out of America, this is it. And then when certain things did sort of like go to plan, they quickly gave up. And And what I mean by gave up is that they started making demands about they wanted this, they wanted that, they wanted this, they wanted that. And because maybe they're used to certain things, or maybe they thought they could take advantage of certain things where they were working, I think they started to feel a bit demoralized with the whole situation. And really, as I saw it, they had the opportunity of a lifetime, making fantastic money. And what I'm trying to say is they seemed difficult to please. Do you know what I mean? They seemed to want everything on a plate. And sometimes it's not like that. I mean, but in the Middle East, you can live a fantastic life. But there seems to be always this thing that they're wanting more, wanting more, wanting
Absolutely.
more.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, well,
yes, that's what I'm
it
saying.
does. It does. Absolutely. And one of the reasons I believe they're wanting more, because what they're seeking, they don't never find, and you won't find it in expatriation. What they're seeking is identity. You can run, but you can't find your identity. Go back to Africa, go to the UK, go to Asia, go anywhere you want. You're not going to find you, except that you, Black African here in America, are a continuation of the African saga. And once we accept that fact that we are unique, that I'm not Jamaican, I'm not West Indian, I'm not none of that shit. I'm not an African from the continent. I am Black African from here. I'm African because just because they put me in a boat and put chains on me didn't change what I was. But my experiences, my cultural influences, my reality was changed from that of the brother and sister from the continent, all my brothers and sisters that went throughout the diaspora. With that being said, when we go back, if we would accept that reality, when we went somewhere, maybe if we built like other people do, when they come over to America, though they're forging a better life for themselves, or they believe to be forging a better life for themselves, they are also sending money back.
Right.
They never forget who they are. We go to other places looking for an identity, trying to escape the very real Black experience of America. And guess what? Black African from America, nigger, what they call you, you can't escape it. So if you're going over there and you're doing that thing, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's cool. Experience, get out of here if you could, if you can. If they ain't caught you with some kind of way of enslaving you by finding some way to confiscate your passport and you can get out of here, go. But don't forget where you come from and send back.
Yeah.
Build. We're still Black nationalists over here. Send it to Yang. I'll rebuild. Send you pictures and everything. Hell, you do it for Sally Crothers. She sent you a picture of some little rusty brother with flies in his eyeballs, and you were sending everything. Let's rebuild Africa. She went, found the poorest part of Africa, and sent you photos for a penny a day. I can send you a photo of Ubuntu. It's bullshit. So they did. Who you know eat for a penny? What the hell you feeding them? One rice at a time? A penny a day? Come on, man. What the foolishness?
It's such
right.
Because in the Middle East, they were happy because, well, happier because there were more employees because it's a different setup there. You earn a good, good salary, and but you're just an employee. When I was in Nigeria, in Abia State, because Nigeria is quite business orientated. They want you to come with a business mind. They want you to sort of like come and set up businesses or have, business ideas, creative business ideas, and then maybe eventually set up a business where you can employ other people, which makes sense because that's what it needs. But I think, yeah, sorry, go on.
I'm sorry, because those Nigerians get a bad break. Let's talk it since we talking real. I saw a thing, them Nigerians was going in the trash, getting computers and hacking everybody in America. They was getting everybody's credit card numbers, all for just So those Nigerians, they be. You're right. They want them to come set up businesses. I said all that to say, and I'm gonna let you continue, Empress, is to say that I am so black nationalist that I really have a problem with escapism. And I feel like that black Africans here in America practice escapism in any shape, form, or fashion, from going back to Africa, trying to forget. And I don't have a problem with going back to the continent, but forgetting here, to religious escapism, gender escapism. Now Negroes feel like they were women, and anything not to be black and address the black experience that we face every day. Yeah, I honestly do. You know, I find it, I'm a practitioner. Like, you know, I do my hoodoo thing. So in hoodoo, I incorporate some Yoruba, some Ifa. And I have people that have embraced the Ifa tradition, the Yoruba, wholeheartedly. And, you know, shouts out to them. And I have people who have had the worst nightmares because of this escapism, I call it, and losing your senses and wanting to be something and believe in something so bad. You had Nigerian priests selling these people basically dreams. They would get their things that's supposed to be all of these, and they were empty. Their pots were empty. This wasn't valid. That wasn't valid. And the only way that that was possible was because of their Africanness. Now, here I was, a black American. I couldn't have sold them a legitimate piece of real estate. I could have had the paperwork and everything and couldn't have sold them a legitimate piece of real estate. But had I come up with a dashiki and, my brother, let me talk to you, with something like that, we have to stop the escapism. And accept our own.
Accept the reality, huh?
Yo, they have done a number on us. We do not trust, like, support, or work with one another. It's terrible.
And it's so, they work so hard, a lot of them. I'm talking about, you know, in Nigeria, they're up at the crack of dawn, and I mean the crack of dawn, and they work till, you know, they're building, I suppose, their stalls, their businesses, and they're coming back, you know, very, very late. So the project we were working on was to try and build a lot of businesses to try and you know, tap into some of the really fantastic ideas, but as I was saying, they wanted to be involved in the business, but not to be, I suppose, involved with employees. But how you've described it, I think I sort of get an understanding of probably why, you know, they didn't. But interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah.
We think we're going to find the promised land. A lot of them. I have a brother that went to Azania, more commonly referred to as South Africa. And he said when he got over the first thing, he stuck out. First of all, he said he got pickpocketed. And I said, really? I said, how did they know to pickpocket you? How they know you was American or you had money? He said he was dressed more African than they were.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
So they peeped that part of the game.
Yeah. We got over there looking. You know, you ever seen Eddie Murphy's Coming to America, the first one, when they had all the I Love New York stuff on?
Yeah.
That's how he was looking. He had every kente cloth print. He had everybody's stuff on, you know. You know, the lion on his shoulders, the whole nine, the royal spear, the whole nine. So they peeped him. And his brother's from Cleveland. Then he said he lived over there and his house got broken into. And he said, man, I lived in Cleveland all my life in the hood, and my house never has been broken into. Went to Africa, wasn't in Africa a year. I've been pickpocketed and my house got broken into.
Oh gosh.
Dang.
And you know, but I don't think it was like I told him. I said, you have to examine it. Is it that those crimes happened to you, or is it that they happened to you in Africa? Were you, you know, was your dream crushed? Did you think you were going to go over there and find yourself? You know, and I think that that's what happens to us. We search everywhere for ourselves, but inside ourselves, because inside ourselves, to find that true African, that true melanated person inside yourself, then you have to take accountability, responsibility, and begin the very real efforts of changing your condition.
Absolutely. What
No
do you
more
think of
blame
the?
game.
What do you think of the sort of like increasing pull to have African Americans go to Ghana, and I think is it Gambia? They're wanting to encourage, you know, Americans to go to those states. What do you think about that?
Like I, basically said earlier, for those that feel like that is the move for them, good move. Please don't forget about your brothers and sisters over here, those who have been criminalized and marginalized, that can't get passports. See, what America would probably even encourage that is because what you will be taking is the best, the brightest, the more wealthier, those that could maintain their passports, those that could afford to come, like I said, the brightest, the wealthiest. And what you'll be leaving is an element, a segment of your people behind that can be even further mistreated or suppressed, because all our money and our intellectuals, our academia is over in Ghana rebuilding, and they've left us.
Right.
Yeah, they do got a big so-called African American community.
Absolutely, which I applaud. But now I want to see how effective are they helping us in these international relations for real liberation. There are some of us that have been enslaved. We're being held and kidnapped by America, and we can't leave. And I say held and kidnapped because when we were allegedly freed from slavery, like people hear me say, we should have been given 3 options: to go back to Africa, to forge out our own destiny in a land for ourselves, in a little section for ourselves, or to be a part of the American experience, experiment. And we weren't given any of those options. We were just included. Yeah, that's what's up, Nkrumah. We were just included. And not even included in a participatory level. Just included, being subjugated to the laws and penalties. So now you're telling me that even if I wanted to leave here, I couldn't leave. So those people that are afforded that opportunity and ability, don't forget your brothers and sisters who are being held here, even if they wanted to join you. It's imperative that we fight for our liberation here. Black nationalism has been thrust upon me, even if I wanted to be something else.
Yeah.
Oh, Yanga, could I say something?
Yeah, please, brother. It was gonna be deep because you're breaking up. I thought it was gonna be heavy.
Yeah. You know where I'm. Okay, yeah, we can't forget about that one. But anyway, like I was saying, upon hearing you say that now, I might as well just stay here, because knowing me personally myself, if I left here and went somewhere else, honestly, I don't know how I can help our people over here. So it's best I stay over here. And that's the most honest I could be.
Hey, if you want to stay, we welcome you. If you want to go and start establishing because you have an opportunity to receive more, then go do that. And I was serious. I wasn't joking. I said it jokingly, but I was serious. I will act as agency in the states for you to contribute to for Black nationalism. I'm saying if my people can go over there and get more bang for the buck, for lack of better words, and can contribute to going like most immigrants do when they come over here. They send their monies back.
Yes.
I'm saying we have to reverse that.
I'm gonna be honest with you because I know what you saying, brother. You saying what you really saying, brother Yanga, is that they BSing when they go over there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, brother.
Keep it 1,000. I'm just saying, yeah.
What's up, Seduction?
To everybody just get it in. Have you been watching what's going on over here in Colorado? Madness.
No, what's going on?
Shit, the whole city of Boulder damn near burned down.
The whole city of Boulder?
Damn near Boulder burned down.
South of Boulder.
What, they riding over there or something?
No, the winds knocked over a motherfucking electrical pole and set the whole city on fire. There was a big everybody like God, like how many
1,000 homes destroyed.
Yeah, over 1,000? Yeah, it started off with 580 homes burnt to the ground. We're talking about the hospitals got evacuated, subway got burned down, all these little bougie little white places were just burned to the ground. And then they were like, well, you gotta go to a shop. So I was a little I'm a little sad a little bit. I'm a little amused at the same time.
I'm a little amused because I seen it as karma for all the cities that they burned down of ours.
All the cities.
Such as Black Wall Street, Elaine, Arkansas, Rosewood, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
They had all the little white kids running out of Chuck E. Cheese and shit, not knowing where to go.
No.
Like,
say it ain't so. Like, not Chuck E. Cheese. Damn.
Chuck E. Cheese all fucking Costco's was burning. Safeway burned. Don't come back to the air. We got this under control. The fireman is out. Yeah.
Yeah, your connection was kind of sounding bad. You was kind of that's bad as a little better now.
And we snow.
And you got snow.
Yeah. So what happened with the fires was the winds were blowing so furiously that the fires were catching. It started out as a little fire, and that fire turned like this. And motherfucking white people were out. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna rebuild. And I was laughing. I was like, "What did I say? What do I always say? Any given time, any of you fuckers will be homeless and living in a tent. Any given time. Now we got about over 1,000 homeless people." And their children. That's sad. That's why we might shed a little tear. All these little white devils loose in the city. However,
well, you can't be saying that with that big old Kool-Aid grin on your face. You said that smiling from ear to ear. Boy, you're smiling from ear to ear.
Feelings about how they feel about black studies and shit, and fucking TRT and. The parents and all this other crap. I'm like, you don't fuck about the little white devils.
Boy,
now there's a whole bunch of black kids. I'd be really difficult. I would be really upset. Like me and my dude. What happened? What happened the other day with the some white man ran over. A white man hit like four or five little children.
And Fort Lauderdale, a suspected white supremacist ran over 6 black kids.
It's a couple of them were related.
And they're saying that it was revenge for what the brother did in Wisconsin that ran over the white people at the parade.
That's where tears came out of this face. Right there was one of the little black kids, because they were some of them were related. Some of them were like 5-6 years old. And they were like brother and sister, or brother, sister, cousin, or something like that. And they were outside playing, and this dude jumped the street on purpose and ran them over. That right there provoked tears.
Yeah, he went from behind the school bus onto the sidewalk and ran the kids over.
He ran them over. That right there caused tears. Now, little white kids running for their lives in 80 different directions with no coats on in the middle of fucking a fire. No, they were ill prepared, okay? There was no hand holding. They were just running willy-nilly out in the street. And I was like, well.
Damn, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy. That news down in Florida. I'm going to have to check that out.
It's all over.
Hey, but listen.
We jumped off.
Seduction.
Talking about something though.
Hey, but listen. You came on right at the tail end. We're going into our 4th hour. I'm about to shut down and wrap up, start getting prepared for this new year coming in.
Yeah, we did our show the other day.
I missed. I probably was sleeping. What time was it?
I don't know. I did it over here because I'm stuck over here at the Black House. So
you could be stuck in worse spots.
Oh no,
Rumor, you got you.
Yeah, she's stuck at my house.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. I've been sleeping the whole time, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, no.
Okay. I could tell. Listen, I could tell you was at your man's house. That's when you get gangster. You got your toboggan broke ace do tray and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was always like this. I was like, well, let's hurry up and get out of the way. Oh, cause I didn't know what time it was because he was manning the computer, so I didn't know that you popped on. Because I was like, damn, I've been trying to catch a show for a couple of days.
I hadn't been on, man. I got, man, crazy madness going on, like in the personal life. So I haven't been on. But I plan on coming on tomorrow, and I notify you. Listen, you have my personal math, right, Seduction?
Yeah, I shouted y'all out on the RVA the other day in the year in review. I call it the year in review. I shouted y'all out. I want to tell you that we noticed your major growth from when you was with People for the People, and then when you separated, and the growth that you experience now is epic. So I would have talked about that on the RVA. I did anyway.
Thank you. I want to thank you for that. And like I said, you have my personal math. You may have to start hitting me personally. Like when the show's going on, let me know, like, Yanga, we're going on, jump on here, my guy, and I'll do what I can do. But right now I'm about to wrap up. I'm about to get in and get prepared for this new year. Bring it in. I appreciate everybody for rocking out with me, Poetic. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your insight, giving me that international voice. I'm always interested in international perspective.
Yeah.
So that's hot. Seduction, I always enjoy it. I'm sorry you got on late.
I know, that's my bad. So tell you, join us tomorrow, y'all, if you want to, for Frontline Black News at 10. We're gonna be hitting it hard. It's new year, new season. So we're gonna be doing it. Happy New Year, guys. Stay safe and don't get too drunk.
Hey, Seduction, what's your page?
I'm on which one? The Revolutionary Agenda.
Okay, and that's on YouTube. I can catch y'all on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah, and Frontline Black News on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Frontline Black News. Okay, I got y'all.
Unapologetically black around this part.
Absolutely.
All right, peace, y'all.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year. And
be safe, cousin.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Happy New Year, y'all.
All right.
Same to you, brother.
All right, y'all.
Listen, I want to thank everybody. Soul Brother, I always appreciate you jumping on, Black Man. When you see me, come on in anytime. Always welcome to the panel, brother. You always bringing jewels and gifts, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Always more than welcome. Son.
Yo, right here. What's up?
Yo, what can I say, man?
Hey,
you know how we do. I appreciate you like all the time, brother.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, dude. Yes.
So with that, I'm going to conclude another great episode. I appreciate y'all letting me come to you, beat on your eardrums a little bit.
Yeah.
And just sharing my opinionated ass.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate Brother Talib.
So with that, I'm going to leave you guys as I greet you. That's all powers to oppress
all right,
people.
Happy New Year's. Peace out, everybody.
African power to the African people, Black power. Happy New Year's.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
All right.